welcome. How's it going? Good to see you. Welcome to the episode 3 of Codex Legendarium. Justin is way better at starting episodes than I am. I'm rusty. It's been a while. Um, Speaking of Justin, any announcements for the channel?
Uh, you say I'm better. Yeah. If you want to find all of our links instead of me having to manually do an announcement for each thing that we have, it helps if I post the right command in chat as well. We have a link tree now, so you can just type, exclamation point links in chat, and it'll pull up our link tree with all of the links. For example, Patreon, where I'm trying to do supplemental content for campaigns, but I haven't done it in a while because my life's been a hot mess for the last 2 months. Tiltify, our color, where you can donate to our charity for Color of Change, and a bunch of other stuff like our Facebook, our Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Everything is just all in one concise location. Finished casting for the Ravenloft game. That'll be taking place on Thursdays. And that'll be starting sometime in December, because like I said, hot mess going on over here. Going to be taking a page from Sam's book and splitting up the group for the off-stream sessions, and then bring them all together for session 1.
Nice.
So that'll be sometime in December. That starts, because hot mess. That's it, really.
Okay.
Welcome to the Hot Mess Express.
Indeed. So, where we last left off, the party had all met. They had dealt with an ice spirit possessed polar bear, and then Tedros had gone ahead and had completed a design for a sort of horse armor that would allow horses and other hooved creatures to safely cross the Stone Sea to the south, and sold that design to Madame Ingwei, who is the basically the transport minister, the person in charge of transportation from this camp. And she immediately got the entire camp working together to start stripping down every piece of metal and leather they could get, to start making a ton of these, specifically enough to outfit every elk on the wagon train that had just pulled in. It seems that train was planning on making the trip south anyway, but Tedros' design is going to make sure that they don't need to really work. They don't need to go with their previous plan, which the previous plan was just bring 20 extra elk with. The team is normally 60. The original plan was bring 20 extra elk with and just swap them out as they die. So Tedros' design is going to help make sure that doesn't need to happen and make it a much more convenient trip as the wagon train heads south, presumably to these ruins that everyone is suddenly willing to talk about. Everyone had various feelings about that. And in the meantime, Montblanc came across a couple of Aeorian scouts who were out in the wilderness when they came across a creature that attacked one of them and left a horrible wound on his chest. Upon investigation and looking into it, Montblanc discovered that this creature was the mate of the Displacer Beast that he and Yulyanya had killed prior to meeting everybody. And this Displacer Beast was bigger and mad and driven feral by the loss of her mate, so she was just attacking everything that moves. They came across her hassling some sort of animal den, and they engaged with her, fought her, killed her, and Yulyanya now has a Displacer Beast hat. And they discovered that the den of animals that was being hassled was a little place where some baby moose were living and residing. And as soon as they turned around, they saw Mama Moose returning home, and she gave Montblanc a thank you, both because he was the one that got he and Princess tied for killing Blow, but then he was the one that was also checking in on her babies. So she gave him specifically the thank you head pat before going in and before kind of shuffling everyone out of the way and then going back in to check on her babies. Everyone returned back on that. Once they got back to the camp, they needed a place to stay. Then they discovered that the man who in charge of the wagon train, named where is he? Noan. Noan was the person, the dwarf in charge of the wagon train, and he basically was like, "Hey, y'all saved us, two of you twice. So we've got food, we've got dinner, we've got extra tents. So yeah, you can, if you want, you can come set up with us. You can come stay the night, and we will take care of you." And then that's where everyone kind of ended up. We had a few nighttime conversations, some music by the fire, a twin conference in a tent, all spoken in primordial, since they were all talking shit about Montblanc, and loud enough to be heard outside the tent, but luckily it was in primordial. And then everyone went to bed and got a long rest, and we will be picking up the next morning as everyone wakes up. You've got like, you're in like bedrolls, you're in basically a sleeping bag and stuff, but like if you've ever gone camping in the winter, it's a very interesting feeling, because like you're nice and toasty warm wrapped up in your blankets, where your body heat has been warming it up all night and you've gotten used to it, but like your face and any exposed skin is immediately exposed to the freezing air inside your tent, because while you're keeping your tent pretty warm with your body heat, it's not enough to combat the elements outside. So it's you're all just wrapped up toasty nice and warm in your blankets, with the just winter chill inches away, just outside your warm, safe makeshift beds. So that's where I wake up, and from the sounds of it, you can hear, as you all kind of stir and come to, all of your tents were backed up against the wagon train, using it as like a windbreak. And as you're all waking up, you can hear sounds of movement. You can hear sound like scraping of wood and like bumping sounds, like things are being loaded or mostly loaded onto the wagon train. You can hear a large amount of activity and a lot more voices around than you remember hearing yesterday. So that's where y'all are at. Whoever's up first, it's up to you.
Yeah, I think I'm an early riser, and Galina probably like wakes up and does like every night before she goes to bed, and every morning when she wakes up, she does just like kind of like a ritualistic, spend some time with her cards, pulls some cards to see like how the day's gonna go before she like selects her spread. And then yeah, so I think just that's kind of like where she's at. Like when the noise starts, she's just for fuck's sake, I'm trying to do something here. Nobody has any respect for anybody anymore. But I don't think she really goes out to investigate. I think she's too busy with like the kind of like the spiritual aspect of connecting herself to everything.
Okay.
Yulyanya's up with the sun.
Okay.
And has no idea what to do with herself without like the presence of family members telling her what to do.
Okay, so just kind of wandering around. Okay, so you're probably up first then, actually, because everyone else probably sleeps a little later. You had a long day. But if you're used to getting up with the sun, you wake up with the sun, you get up, you get out, you're walking around, you're kind of wandering around the camp. So you would actually be up a little before all of this, the commotion started, and so you would actually get to see what's going on. As you see a very large ship docking at about dawn at the port. There's all those docks that have just been kind of standing empty, and the whole port that this camp is set up around hasn't really been in use. But suddenly it is alive with activity, and you see a big ass ship docked and anchored right there next to the piers that go, or the docks that go out to meet it, and people are like already starting to bring stuff off the ship. You can see that the name of the ship is the Sword of Two, and you can see a variety of people making their way off the ship. Just by looking at it, and especially given that you're a traveling performer, you probably have a good ear for accents and like a good eye for regional attire. And just by looking at all the people coming off the ship, you can tell that while this is a Yorian ship, and the crew is Yorian, you can see that all the passengers that are getting off and like bringing stuff off with them are not. They are all, you can, it just all over the place. You can see like pretty much not like all over the planet or anything, but like this entire region, like east and south of Aor, and maybe a little bit to the north, just like this whole region here. You can see people from all over the place, and recognize the different accents and stuff as they're talking to each other, and you can tell just kind of from like people watching their interactions that pretty much these are all strangers to each other. It's all like a group of individuals that have come here as passengers on this ship and are getting off, and like you can tell like some of the tentative like friendships and conversations that were made on the ship ride over, but for the most part these are a group of strangers.
So it looks like a passenger ship and not like a cargo ship?
A little bit of both, actually, because you see that the passengers get off and they're the ones that go over and actually start loading stuff onto the wagon train.
Oh, okay.
They're the ones that like start loading luggage and other things onto the wagon train, but also like the crew of the ship is offloading supplies and stuff that's like being passed out. It looks like food and things like that, and given the region that this place is in, and given the weather and climate and all that stuff, the people in this camp do not know how to get like food or resources from the surrounding lands, so everything has to be shipped into them, and so this is just like one of those supply shipments coming in.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, Yulyanya wanders around looking at the commotion for a while, but then realizes that she should probably alert everyone that there's a ship here in case, there's anything that we can get off of the ship, or if we needed to take a ship ride. She likes boats.
Okay, so you just like go around and start knocking on everybody's tents and waking them up.
Yep.
All right, so just it's like
Guys,
down the line.
there's a ship.
Oh yes, good morning.
Good morning. There's a ship. It's called the Sword of Twos. I think it said the Sword of Twos. And you guys have things with swords, and sometimes there's two of them.
We don't
On your
have...
cards,
okay, yes, you're correct in that one. Yes.
They have things. They have things that are being brought in here, and I don't know what those things are, but I thought you guys should know.
Well, thank you so much for passing along information. Let's go. Perhaps we should go and talk.
Okay.
Yeah, I go with.
Okay, so who's getting up and going with?
Not me.
Not me.
I will actually. Well, actually, I will mention, Princess, you recognize the name of that ship.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah, you do.
That is the name of the ship that invited you for passage a few days ago, before you got on the wagon train with Galina.
Is it a #yikesy situation?
You'll find out. Princess is in bed.
Okay, so Princess stays in bed, Montblanc stays in bed. Galina's going
awake.
with?
He's just not interested in going to see a ship.
Gotcha.
I was technically in the tavern while that was going down with Princess. Can I do like a retroactive perception check to see if I recognize the ship?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Yeah, let's see if you, because it was also like in the harbor and stuff. So yeah, let's do a retroactive perception check to see if you noticed the name of the ship while you were there, like if you spotted it.
Only an 11.
Okay. Now it kind of blends. It blended. There was a bunch of ships up at the city.
Yeah, and I was really stressed out looking for Viktoria.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So no, it doesn't seem familiar to you. Tedros, Viktoria, are we hanging out, staying in bed, or are we going with? Okay.
Viktoria will reluctantly, still half asleep, follow her sister.
Okay, so it's the twins and Yulyanya who are getting up. Everybody else is either staying in bed or just near the camp and not going over and looking at the ship.
Extrovert gang.
All right, so y'all head over. Yeah, you can see that like at this point, by the time you all get over there, the passengers are all pretty much actually gathered around the wagon train and are starting to load up their stuff and like other supplies onto the wagon train. Along with the wagon train employees, and they're like scouting out wagons to like ride in, and it looks like they are planning on being passengers on the wagon train as well. So by the time you get over to the ship, it's just the Yorian crew who's just like offloading supplies and things, like big crates and bundles of food and raw materials.
Hello.
Yeah, and you can see a person standing on the dock, like kind of directing traffic, and that's probably the person you go up to, and he turns around and says, "Well, hello there."
Yes, hello. It's so lovely to see a friendly face.
Oh, well, I'm very glad to be a friendly face. How can I help you?
Well, actually, I have a couple questions. The first one being, clearly we are setting up some sort. You're bringing the supplies, and that's fantastic. But is this ship heading back to Aor?
Not at the moment. No, the ship is heading back up north to Narak. Actually, we are we mostly just transport supplies and passengers from Narak down to this camp.
Narak, where's that?
Oh, it's just north up the coast.
Oh.
It's the one of the most northernmost Sferok cities or towns, settlements, whatever you want to call it.
Well, what
It's
do you
very
have
lovely.
there? What do you have there?
What do we have where?
In your place that you live?
In my house?
No, your country. Like, what do you trade?
Oh. Well, we trade all sorts of things. Though we're not really a trade vessel. We're more of just a resupply and passenger vessel. It's just things like food, metals. There's not a lot of mines or anything around here, so just some raw iron and steel ingots. So to provide for any sort of construction. Wood. There's not a lot of trees, and then just your usual like flour. Dried meats, food that travels well, just to help supply the camp around here until it gets up and running.
Well, we could use food. And maybe metals.
Well, we're not, so unfortunately, we're not really a merchant vessel. We're just supplying directly to the camp here. So you'd have to talk to someone at the camp to buy it to see if they don't need it, because pretty much everything on here is spoken for.
Oh, boo, I got everyone up for nothing.
Nothing at all. No, you did very well.
Oh,
I
well,
have
thank you.
another question.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, many of your passengers are planning on joining the wagon train. I don't suppose you've heard anything about what they've been hired for?
Oh, a variety of things. They're just we've been collecting some workers to come down and help out at the ruin to do a variety of things in the excavation.
Interesting. I don't suppose there's any way I could give you a letter destined for Aor, and you could take it back, and then from there it could go back to Aor.
Oh, I certainly could do that for you. Yes.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm very much trying to get in touch with my uncle.
Not a problem. Not a problem. And your uncle lives in Aor?
Yes, Lord Bliam of the 5-Star Chalice.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, how
Where am I?
rude of me! I didn't introduce myself. Hello,
so
I am
rude of
Lady
me, I didn't
Galina.
introduce- I'm so rude of me. I didn't introduce myself. See, Lady Galina, you said.
Yes, this is my sister, Lady Viktoria, and our dear friend Yulyanya.
Also, all of the 5-Star Chalice.
No.
I'm of the valley.
Just me and my sister.
I see.
5-Star Chalice.
All right. Well, my name is Wassam of the Bladed Scepter. Very nice to meet all of you.
Bladed
Oh,
Scepter,
that's
you'd
very
say.
interesting. The
Mhm.
Bladed Scepter, they're the ones who are headlining the excavation process, no?
Yes, that's correct. Lord Canro himself of the Bladed Scepter is overseeing the excavation.
And is Lord Kenro at the ruins?
Yes, he should be. He's overseeing it with the previous workers that we brought down there.
Oh, fantastic. I am interested in the ruins myself, so perhaps I will take a
Oh.
little visit to him.
Well, the wagon train should be leaving later today, I believe, to bring all these new workers down there. So it's always the more the merrier. So the more people we can get down there, the better.
Yes, of course. Well, it was lovely meeting you, and thank you so much. Here is the letter.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I'll make sure this gets where it needs to go.
Here is a gold piece for your troubles.
That's not necessary, but thank you so much for your generosity.
And then I hate to keep you from your work any longer than we already have. Please enjoy your day, and if there's anything we can do for you, please come find us.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I really do.
All right. Goodbye.
All right. Have a lovely day. And he goes back to directing traffic or at the dock and for all the cargo coming off the ship.
As we're walking away to Viktoria, I'll be like, I know Tedros wanted to get to the ruins before Ingwe does. I don't believe that's going to be possible. I think we just have to hitch a ride on the carriage train.
What ruins?
The ruins south?
The ruins that literally nobody has talked about before these last 2 days. It's a little bit suspicious, you know?
Well, if nobody's talked about it, then how do you know about it?
Because somehow Tedros knew about it, but we were asking about it, and everyone's like, oh, what ruins? I don't know about any ruins. And now all of a sudden they're like, oh, yes, they're ruins. So
I told you
suspicious.
you should have paid better attention in the classes about reading people's lies. But no, Galina, I want to play with my axe, Galina.
Well, I trust Tedros. I think he knows what he's talking about.
Very trustworthy, I will say that, yes.
Well, perhaps we should go and fetch Tedros and see if he will be okay with us arriving at the same time as Ingwe.
Well,
Yes.
I don't know if Ingwe is going specifically.
Yes,
so
yes,
I think
you
that
know,
anytime
it is
we go,
metaphorical.
we will be beating Ingwe,
Yes,
you
yes,
know?
of course.
Ingwe's henchmen.
I'm speaking in grandiose metaphorical terms, of course.
You know I don't understand those grandos those ones.
Yes, you're
Me
right.
neither.
That is my mistake. My mistake, of course. You must think about company. My mistake. I apologize deeply.
You
You
should.
are okay. Let's go find Tedros.
Tuttle, let's go.
Scurries
Smack-
off.
Smack the tent.
Tedros!
The tent fabric starts like wop.
Yulyanya's like flurry of blowsing it.
Tedros!
Yes, yes, yes.
There's ruins!
Are
Or-
you decent?
I
Can we come
know.
in?
Or maybe there's not ruins, or I don't know about the ruins.
Wonderful. Yes, you can come in.
Victoria peeks her head in. Good morning. Get
And-
your ass up. We got to
Victoria.
talk.
Yulyanya just sort of dashes in, like right under Viktoria.
The tent is like 6 feet long, so it's just like you're in there. Keep running, and you're gonna end up like running into Tedros.
No, she just plops down.
Great. Yes, I'm
We got to talk. Come on, get your ass up.
coming.
Get
All
out.
right. All right. Yes. All right.
Perhaps it would be best to talk in the tent.
Everyone
Right,
come
right.
in the tent.
Get back in.
God. Victoria and Galina are so fucking big. There's no room in this tent. We're fucking crammed.
What if you
Yeah.
guys just peek your heads in? You only the top
Oh,
of
sorry, my horns are getting caught on the once. Oh my
Good
goodness.
morning, ladies.
Good morning, Tedros. Oh, goodness.
Yulyanya goes to help Galina with the horns because she knows
Oh.
the struggle.
Thank you. Tedros, I remember that you were speaking about wanting to get to these ruins before Ingwe.
Yes.
Unfortunately, based off the information I have been able to glean, I do not believe that will be possible, but I do believe that it would be possible for us to hitch a ride on the train and arrive there simultaneously. And also, you understand when I say we get there before Ingwe that I am speaking metaphorically and that realistically she is probably not actually going to go to the ruins, right?
There's a coin flip on that, I think. Whatever it is that's going on I think they found something. I fully believe that they found something. Otherwise, they would not be trying to get the entire train over there.
They
What
found
is the
something
coin
in the
flip?
ruins?
Probably.
Well, it sounds like they've already gotten the train there, and that the excavation's already been in process. It seems like literally they're just trying to expedite the process as much as possible.
Well, what if we go really, 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 really fast?
How?
How are we going to be faster than the train?
The train is leaving later today.
Well, I don't know. We could stow away on the train, or Tedros, you build things. Could you build something that makes us go zoom?
If I could build something that would get us across the Stone Sea fast enough to not have to worry about being eaten by a land shark,
A stone ship that goes zoom.
But you have to power any ship.
With magic?
Shh, he doesn't like that word.
Moobs?
I'm sorry, are we changing the shorthand for magic to moobs? Because I don't know that I don't know that I want to.
I think he's more comfortable with moobs.
I think I might actually be less comfortable with moves. I don't know what a move is. I am a little bit afraid to find out at this point.
It feels bad in the mouth. Moob.
Moob.
Ladies.
Moob.
Moob. Moob. I like it.
I'm sorry, moobs feel bad in the mouth? What?
I mean, if you do it wrong, yeah.
This is the quality content you all tuned in for.
Aren't you glad you tuned in, chat?
Shamed.
What a word. Like, okay, it's fine. Moving on.
Just a really funny word.
It does genuinely feel gross to say in the twins' accent. Like it doesn't come out of like the right here in the mouth properly.
Moobs.
But yes, I think our best bet would be to perhaps catch a ride on the train and then conduct our own search in the ruins, if that's something you would like to do. I have to admit, I am of course very interested, and Lord Canero has no reason to deny this request.
We come from a very trustworthy house, so very trustworthy group. Very trustworthy.
A very eccentric house for sure.
But no reason to not trust.
No reason to not trust us.
Exactly.
Man, people
If
who
you say
that
there's
are the
no
most
reason.
untrustworthy, though.
Yeah, if you say there's no reason not to trust you, then it makes me think maybe there's at least one reason.
Well, I mean, there's probably a couple of reasons. There's a couple of reasons to distrust everybody.
Yeah, there might be skeletons in Uncle's closet. We don't know.
That is such a boring way to go through life, you know, just constantly on guard for everybody's secrets.
Well, I trust you.
Well, I trust you.
Thank you. Well, should we go to the ruins?
Yes, we should probably ask Montblanc if he would like to come, and
I'm sure Monty will come. He doesn't have anything better to do.
And if I know Princess, she is absolutely just sleeping through all of this right now. I like the dead is how Princess sleeps. It was genuinely very concerning the first night.
I could wake her up.
I think that it would probably be better if you did not wake her up.
Why not?
Because unconsciousness sounds really great right now, for many different reasons. And
you want me to knock you out?
No, Viktoria.
You just said unconsciousness.
We're not doing this again.
But I thought that we were at a disadvantage time-wise. Why are we sleeping?
We're not at the disadvantage time-wise if we get on the train, because then we will get there when the train gets.
Well,
but also the train isn't leaving until
train.
later tonight, or later today, so you can go back to sleep now if you want to. We just wanted to get your whole vibe about this because you're the one who had the strongest feelings. Like, I want to go to the ruins regardless of your feelings, and that was my plan. But I know your feelings on it, and I want to respect those. And so I wanted to bring it to you before we made any decisions that way.
Respectfully, getting on that caravan train is going to feel like someone planted a knife and has been twisting it slowly.
Yee.
That being said, if that's the best way for us to get there, then I'll do it.
Great, it's settled.
Well, I want to go to the ruins because, first of all, I've never been to the ruins. And second of all, I don't know where my sister is. And so anywhere that I go is a place that maybe my sister is. And everywhere that I stay is a place that my sister is not. So I'll go.
Sound logic.
Very. A plus.
I'll get Monty.
How about I go wake everybody else up? Since it sounds like you all have already started to make arrangements, the three of you can secure our passage on the train, and I can make sure that the rest of us are awake, get the things done that we need to do.
I was going to play a song on my pan flute. It always wakes everyone up.
I'm sure that it would be better for everyone to be awake fully to appreciate the song on your pan flute. So I would make sure.
Trust me, it's not a song for appreciating.
What is it the song for then?
For waking up.
Oh, that sounds dreadful.
I think you should do it. Come on, let's go.
I want to do it. But Tedros said no, and I respect Tedros. So Tedros, you can wake people up, and then I don't remember what you said because I was thinking about the pan flute song.
Okay, and Tedros like just reaches for like the nearest corner of the tent and like crawls out the side.
Just like pries up a stake and just
Yes,
like
yes.
sneaks out. All right, you can sneak out of your tent.
Every introvert ever when trapped in a social interaction for too long.
Yep.
How did you know?
Pries up the floorboards and finds an escape.
And Tedros will kind of gently, just as loud as he needs to, head first to Montblanc and then to Princess's tents to wake them up.
Okay.
Montblanc is sitting there, eyes closed.
Sitting?
Sitting up.
Inside the tent or outside the tent?
Inside the tent.
Okay. So you just hear a on the outside of the tent.
Yep.
We've got business.
Are we going to the ruins now?
Yep.
Like now?
Close enough to now. You'll probably need the time to get things ready.
Right.
And we almost got killed by a land shark last time, so there's a coin flip of a chance that it'll happen again.
Great. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, okay. That makes one of us. And Tedros will kind of he's really sulking about the camp right now. He is pointedly ignoring looking in any direction that has people working on stuff. And he then heads over to Princess's tent and taps it.
You do not get a response from them. You do not get a response.
Princess,
What?
we gotta go soon.
What time is it?
Still too early, but we gotta go soon.
And then you just hear like rumbling around and like rumbling around in the tent. Like you hear like a string like pling or whatever. She's just like struggling to get up. Yeah, she just shoves open the tent flap and she looks a mess, but she's awake.
God, I wish you had like a tambourine, like trying to get out of your tent, just like this loud tambourine crashing.
You like hear like shit fall on the floor, like she's not wearing her hat, her afro's like a mess, and she's like, where is everyone else? What are we doing?
we're headed to the ruins. I don't know exactly when we're going to be leaving, but we probably need to get things ready before the caravan goes. And
Are we? What? How? We're going in the snow.
probably going to be getting on the caravan.
Ooh. How do you
Yeah.
feel about that?
Tedros just kind of looks at her and then says, before I get my armor taken care of, I'm going to make sure that I have more crossbow bolts. I think that's an answer. And
I like that.
walks off.
Yeah.
Why aren't they called crossbolts?
When Montblanc leaves his tent, does he see the ship?
You have to kind of like walk around the wagon. It's on the other side of the wagon train from where your tent is, but you like once you walk
Cool.
around it, yeah, it's big and obvious.
I don't go anywhere near it.
Okay. And you can see, yeah, a bunch of strangers that you didn't see the day before,
Yeah,
like
definitely
loading
not
stuff
going
onto the
anywhere near
wagon
it.
train. Okay. Well, they're loading stuff onto the wagon train, so they're like kind of wandering around like in the vicinity
Yeah,
of like your tent and
I'm
the
gonna
train
go look
and
for
stuff.
Tedros.
Okay. You can probably find him wherever he is after he leaves Princess's tent.
Hey,
He's probably starting to head to where he thinks Viktoria is, but he will stop as soon as he sees Montblanc.
We're not riding the wagon train, are we?
That seems to be their plan.
Who's playing?
Not mine.
Right. Do you want to just head there ourselves? Just the two of us?
I don't think we're gonna get there
Yeah.
fast enough.
Fuck.
Believe me, if I thought that we had even a slight chance of beating them there,
Yeah.
I would be avoiding this thing like the plague.
Yep. I got a bad feeling about it, especially with that ship showing up suddenly. I asked a bunch of questions last night at the docks, and they said ships rarely kind of come here, or it's not a common occurrence. So,
Funny how every
Yeah.
time they say something's a rare occurrence,
yeah.
but they don't know anything. All of a sudden, a ship rolls in,
Yeah.
and everyone's got work to do, right?
Yep.
I don't like it.
I'll be keeping an eye out for sure. Alright.
Yeah.
Well,
Do you need anything? I can pick up some supplies if you do.
I've got crossbow bolts, I've got 2 ropes, some belaying pins, steak, mess kit. I should be good to go. How many
Sounds
crossbow
good to
bolts?
me.
Oh, what are you looking for, actually?
I need a couple crossbow bolts.
How many's a
I've
couple?
I don't know. I'll probably get like a full set of 20.
I don't really use my crossbow, so I'll give Tedros all 25 of my crossbow bolts.
Okay.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, I don't really. I'm more up. I like to get up close. I don't really like to use the crossbow. So.
Well, you're pretty good up close.
Oh wait, 20 crossbow bolts. That makes more sense.
Thanks.
Yep.
I can buy them off you if you.
Nah, it's all right. Like I said,
Sure.
not really using them.
All right.
That Eldritch Blast tends to
Yeah.
be used more often.
Yep. All right.
I like to imagine Montblanc keeps the crossbow like for appearances,
Basically,
like to give just like to make it seem like he can take ranged attacks without magic.
it's kind of he keeps the crossbow like strapped to his like one side, like on a belt, and
You can see there's actually not even a string across here.
no, he keeps it like maintained
Yeah.
and stuff for
Yeah.
appearances, but yeah, he never uses it. Yeah,
Mhm.
all 20 crossbow
It's a
bolts.
last
to-
resort. It's a last resort.
all all 20 crossbow bolts to Tedros, and then
Okay.
well, if shit goes down on the wagon train, I'm definitely on edge and prepared, because yeah, a lot of suspicious stuff happening, especially like I said with the questions I asked last night on the docks, and then a ship shows up the next day. Yup.
Yeah.
During the walk to find basically just like while we're on our way to get the accommodations on the train, Galina is straight up just lecturing both Viktoria and Yulyanya about how important it is to like notice like the subtle things in people and like when their eyes shift and like how very important it is to like figure out when people are lying to you, and if you had paid better attention to your studies, Viktoria, like maybe you would have realized. Basically, Galina is just lecturing to be like, insight is a thing you can do.
Yulyanya has basically taken to Galina in a way that she is also feeling rightfully admonished. So basically just sort of mimicking Viktoria's nature as they walk along and being quiet.
Viktoria is not listening. She's instead looking for groups of people that she could immerse herself in. Preferably around 8, and when she finds one, she will just...
Like 8 people, you said?
About 8 people.
Okay.
I would like to try and, like, go when Galina's not looking. So that, like, Galina's just, like, you know, talking and then looks back, Viktoria's gone.
Okay. So Galina, you said you were going to try and, like, secure passage on the wagon train?
Yes, please.
Okay. So Viktoria, you find a group of people. Looks like some of the new workers that came in on the ship. They're all just kind of like standing around and awkwardly talking to each other. So when you walk over, they're like, they all look like they're from, every one of them is from a different country. So when you walk over, they're kind of just like, oh, hey, another one. We didn't see you on the ship.
Yeah, I was different ship.
So Galina, you can go over. You can find Noan, the dwarf that runs the wagon train. He's still like up by the front, checking on the elk. They're pretty much outfitting the elk with the armor now. They're starting from the front and working back. They're about halfway down the line, and they've like already got half of the team set up and ready to go.
Hello, my good friend Noan.
Oh, hello.
How
good to
are
see
you
you.
this wonderful morning?
Oh, doing well. Well rested. How are the tents? How was the food?
Oh, so delicious, so cozy. Had such a good night's sleep. Thank you so much.
Of course, that's the least we could do. You especially saved our lives twice, so least we could do.
It was nothing. It was nothing.
Maybe to you that was something to us. That was something to watch. So I would have given you all that for the spectacle alone. But since you saved our lives and our livelihood, yeah, no, you're good.
You're too nice.
What can I do for you?
I hate to impose on your hospitality anymore, but is there any way my group could join the caravan to go to the ruins?
Look, I just said, I feel like the tent, just a tent for the night and some dinner wasn't enough to repay you. I would be happy to. I'd be glad to.
Oh no, you're so kind. You're so kind.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
Just the two of you, or
no? So it'll be me, Yulyanya, my sister, who was supposed to be here.
Yeah, when he says just the two of you, that's when you notice that Viktoria's gone.
Tedros, Montblanc, and Princess again.
All right, so the 6 of you. No problem. We can get you. I think I should. For you, I can shuffle some people around, and we can make sure that you can get two wagons, so you can have you can stretch out a little bit. Nothing's too good for the ones that saved all of our lives.
You are such a charmer. You better knock it off.
Well, anyway, happy to help.
Thank you.
We'll call out when we're heading out. We got all these new riffraff over here that just came in. The workers. So we got to make sure they all know when to get on board and stuff. So you won't be able to miss it when we're heading out.
Wonderful.
And
thank you.
At that point, there's just a loud rumble from Yulyanya's stomach. Have you had breakfast today?
Me? A little bit, yeah. But same place you got the dinner last night. There should be some cook fires up. They should still have some stuff. Go over, tell them I sent you. They'll get you set up with some nice breakfast.
Thank you. Do you want to go, Galina?
I'm actually going to go check on Princess. I just want to make sure she didn't go back to sleep.
Oh, do you think she would? I don't think she would.
She might.
Oh, well, I'm going to go eat.
You go eat, save me a spot, and I will bring Princess along and we'll have a lovely breakfast.
Yes, Yulyanya scurries off.
Okay, yeah, you can go over find the cook fires and stuff. They're cooking up some breakfast, some basic breakfast food, bacon, eggs, that kind of thing.
She's just
beans.
piling her plate really high and then just stuffing all of it in her face.
Nice. All right. So where is, as Galina heads off to find Princess, where is Princess at?
Princess is like in her tent, like doing her like morning routine, like smudging on some eyeliner, and just like talking to herself, or like, well, but just talking out loud, in the tent by herself. Yeah.
Nothing to see here.
She's doing like a beauty vlog. Get ready with me.
Oh my god, yeah. For her little friend in the corner, it's like, and then you want to do this in the corner?
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
He could look stylish too, It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's where Princess is at right now. Slender tent.
So Galina, you check Princess's tent, and that's where you find her.
Oh, fantastic! You're awake.
Yes, unfortunately. Good morning.
Yes. How was your sleep?
Terrible as always. But what I know that we were going on the Tedros came by and he said that we're going on the caravan.
Yes, the caravan.
Yes. So you guys are probably up much earlier than me, but
Yes.
come in, don't stand in front of the tent.
My horns, they're stupid.
There's only two of you. I could come out there, actually. I'll come out. We can talk
Okay, thank you.
What happened why did we decide to go on the caravan instead?
Because it is leaving later today, and it is the quickest option to get us to the ruins. Otherwise, we will get there probably many weeks after they do, and that is a thing we want to avoid, based off of Tedros's feelings about the ruins.
I was sort of half asleep when did Yulyanya come by at some point this morning?
Yes, Yulyanya came by. The ship came in today.
A ship that someone came up to me while we were back when the town that we met in. They came up to me and inviting me to go on that ship that she said.
Oh, interesting.
Did you go talk to anyone on the ship, or?
Yes, I spoke to the person, as far as I could tell, who is in charge, who is directing most of the traffic.
Mm-hmm. And was it a pleasant conversation? It was okay.
Oh, yes, quite a delightful young man.
Interesting. I think we should keep an eye out for the people who are on that ship. Just the feeling. I have a bad feeling about but we should keep an eye out. Not saying that we shouldn't go on the caravan, because it seems like the most expeditious option, but just wary.
I will keep that under advisement.
Yeah, and like
I trust your gut.
Princess says that kind of like leaning forward, kind of like quiet, because we're outside now.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we do have 2 wagons for ourselves, so we won't be rooming with anybody, with any strangers.
Good.
Though I believe Yulyanya has hopefully has set aside a place for us to have breakfast with her if she'd like to. That's what I'm heading to now.
All right, we'll lead the way.
There are 2 spots saved.
Oh,
amazing. Yes, you can go over. You can see it's like they've basically got like stools and benches and stuff set up for you to go sit on. As you go, like get out from around the wagon train, you get over to the cook fires where the crew is set up. Princess, you can look over. You can see the exact same ship that it was that tried to and it's the exact same ship, and you can see the one that is standing there like directing traffic is the guy that you talked to, who was like, hey, come on board and come if you're looking to go, hop on our ship. We're looking for workers. So it looks like that is the same person and the same ship. And then there's breakfast.
Yeah, Princess just digs in, not talking to anybody. But
all right. So while you're doing that, Viktoria, you get to talking to these people. You meet. It wasn't a full group of 8. It's a group of looks like 6 people actually. You get to meet. You've got a group of them. They're kind of talking, introducing themselves and stuff. So you get to overhear what they're talking about. You've got Lucella, who's a human. She's a human. She's a stonecutter. She actually won't say where she's from. She just says she's from farther north. And she actually does indicate that she lets slip at one point in the conversation that she used to be a gladiator, and then just kind of stops talking. You've got Cadence, who's a purple tiefling and is a musician. She's carrying a variety of instruments on her and is wearing like a very colorful patchwork, like green and red and blue outfit, almost like checkerwork pattern. And she says she was hired to provide entertainment. She says she is from a place called Titan's Grave. Then you've got a copper dragonborn named Zezerex, who is from the fishing ports of Agurvik, which is the nation just north of here. You've got Tathula, who is an orcish woman from Tothula.
Not how I had it spelled, but
I'll send you spellings for all. I'll put spellings for all of these in the chat.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Tathula is from the nation of Jovendel, which is just south of Aor, and is a carpenter by trade. Jovendel has actually recently just gained protectorate status under Aor. And you've got a half elf named Kelderbane, who comes from the nation of Thragus, who when people ask him, they're like, oh, he's like, yeah, I'm a gambler. And people are like, well, what do you do for work? And he's like, I'm a gambler. And he just keeps insisting that is his job. And then there's a dwarven woman named Wilhelmina, who is a baker, but also kind of an all-around cook, and she is here to cook for whatever expedition is happening here. So you kind of just like have a collection of just general workers around from all over the place.
sick. As they're introducing themselves, I would like to just kind of get in the middle of them casually and channel vitality.
Okay. Yeah.
Get
Yeah,
them.
you have that. Yep.
Get them temp HP. So 6.
Does that have a? I'm gonna ask. Does that have a visual to it?
I believe when we had established is that her tattoo kind of shifts a bit, and if they were looking at the ground underneath their feet, which is covered by snow, I imagine, so they probably wouldn't notice it. They would notice a faint like green glow on their left foot.
Okay. Specifically the left foot.
Specifically the left foot.
Okay, interesting. All right.
Specific. I love that.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Okay, so you're just like kind of hanging out, talking to them. So you talk to them. Everybody else gets breakfast. Montblanc and Tedros. Tedros, you wanted to go and get your armor fixed up, right?
Yes. But
Okay.
you wanted to go grab Viktoria first because she needs to get hers finished off as well.
Okay. Good. Okay, so you can go and find Viktoria. You can go spot Viktoria just like standing amongst this group of 6 strangers, listening to all of them.
Hi, hello, hi. If you don't mind, I'm going to borrow the Lady Viktoria for a moment.
Sure. Yeah, lady. Wait, did you say she was a lady? What was it? She never got to introduce herself. Like they all just kind of like whisper amongst themselves as you take her away. She was just kind of sitting there listening.
Hi. We should probably get this, properly sorted out with our armor. I want to make sure that everything is fully up to snuff before we head out there and possibly get eaten by more land sharks.
Not going to get eaten by land sharks.
I mean, both of us literally nearly got eaten yesterday. Well, day before yesterday. Like inside of its mouth.
Yes, we both were inside of its mouth. I do remember that, but yesterday?
It was a couple days ago.
Anyways, I am so glad that you came to talk to me. I have something I would like to say to you. And I am glad that the others are not here to hear it. especially my sister.
Okay.
And she's like nervously wringing her hands out.
Mm.
I would like to apologize to you for my outburst at my sister yesterday, for putting you in danger. It has been brought to my attention that in doing that, it potentially discredited you and your abilities, which was not my intention at all, Tedros. I find you very capable and very good at what you do for a non-adventurer. And I don't want to make excuses, but I want you to know where I am coming from, and that you are the first friend that I have made on my own since you mean a lot to me, and your friendship means a lot to me, Tedros. And yesterday, to see my sister so willingly and thoughtlessly put your life in danger, it gave me quite a fright, because I thought that my next action was going to have to be a choice between you or her as to who I would save. And it was wrong of me to have an outburst, and I am sorry.
You don't have to apologize. I did that because I was very worried that Montblanc would not be able to stay on his feet if he kept getting hit like that. And I figured that at least if we could spread the attacks around a little bit, that at least he would be okay. And because of the abilities that we made use of earlier in the day, I was also very concerned because I didn't really have much else that I could do to help him. So, and honestly, you aren't wrong. It was a little bit reckless. I'm really angry right now about the way I've been jerked around since I got here, and the way that Ingwe's basically used me. And I am trying to remember that I got what I needed. I got proof that it works. And I have the tools that I need to do the other stuff that I really want to do now. And he kind of holds up like the rolled up. He's got like a rolled up set of Tinker's tools. And there was some recklessness in my decision. So you're not wrong. And while you are incredibly capable of making friends on your own, I'm honored to be the first.
I'm honored that you are my friend. Shut the fuck up. I am honored that you are my first friend as well. I don't think I did too bad in picking you.
Well, I mean, I picked you too, so. But I think we should both get this armor taken care of. Otherwise, we might be picking each other out of the inside of something very large. So.
God, I don't want to fight Landshark again. Do you think
Nope.
being in the wagon will be a deterrent for Landshark, because it's very much bigger than Landshark? And like, I don't know very much about how Landsharks go, but I think that having something much bigger than it is going to be a deterrent, because that's kind of how it works with other animals.
Yeah.
Except for snakes. Snakes don't give a fuck. They just go for anything that they can swallow.
Well, I think if we're lucky, it'll be just one, maybe two at a time. But I don't know anything about them. If they hunt in packs, we're basically going to be dinner on wheels, or
A meal to go.
yeah. And actually, we need to talk to everybody before we get on that caravan. But let's get business taken care of first.
Why do we need to talk to everybody?
You'll understand. And Tedros starts heading towards the guy who had taken care of their armor yesterday.
Viktoria just stands there like, what if I don't understand?
Okay. So you go to the armor. You can do that really quick. You can just go over and just like drop it off and give it to the armor and just basically be like, yep, just do what you said you were gonna do before I ran off. The armor was like, yep, can do. You already paid for everything. So it seems like the commotion is starting to calm down a bit in camp, so people are starting to be able to get back to their jobs, which means that this will be done in the next like couple hours. And it looks like the wagon train still has about that much time left in prep time, so nothing to worry about there.
All right, sounds good to me. Tedros will do his best to see if he can gather everybody together to have a conversation.
Yeah, you can find pretty much everybody else over, or you can find almost everybody else over eating breakfast. Is Montblanc still hanging? Where did Montblanc go after? Okay. Okay, so you can find Montblanc just wandering around the camp, like doing that thing of just like walking somewhere with purpose and then stops and just like, wait a minute, I was doing something. What was I doing? What did I need to do? And you just find Montblanc just like in that moment of just like, what was it that I was doing? And then that's where you find him.
Yep. He'll gather everybody together, try to find as quiet a place as possible, as far away from everybody else as possible.
Okay, you can do that. It's not far. It's not. You don't have to go far out of the camp before it gets quiet. The snow kind of just like muffles everything.
All right. Well, we've got a lot to discuss, and some of it we can get to maybe on the caravan. I don't know. Depends on where they put us. Like, I don't want to be like crammed in between. Like,
Well, we actually have 2 wagons to spread out amongst the 6 of us.
Oh, all right. Well,
yes, we won't be rooming with any strangers.
Well, that's good at least. We should probably talk about what's going to happen when we get there.
Sure.
I don't really know where there is.
The ruins.
That
It's
doesn't
okay.
tell me much.
Well, honestly, we won't know much until we get there. They're like that. The remnants of a bygone civilization are not necessarily going to just give you all the details all at once.
Well, I don't see why not.
It's challenging. There are a lot. Anyway, it's not important. The important part is, I don't know what's out there. I don't know what we're gonna find. Lots of pretty nasty things set themselves up in old, abandoned, forgotten places from time to time.
Why don't the twins ask the cards?
It doesn't work that way.
I'm not going to ask my cards what's in like old dead ruins. They don't know that.
But you say that.
It's metaphorical sort of knowledge, and honestly, I'm not necessarily sure you want to know. But the important part is we need to work together. We need to have each other's backs, because I don't trust anybody who's going down there right now.
Yep.
Even me?
Based on what I told you earlier, Tedros, I'm on the same boat as you.
We're not going on a boat, we're going on a train.
It's a form of speech.
a metaphorical boat. It is shocking that no.
Well, I'm just excited for the train ride. What do you think we'll see out the window?
Land sharks.
Land sharks. I want to see a land shark.
You do not want to see a land shark.
I want to see a land shark.
No, you don't. You will get eaten, and it could easily swallow you.
Well, if we're inside of the carriage, then won't it be just like going by through the window? We just
It will
see
be
the
like
land shark.
opening can.
We wave at the land shark as we go by.
So, Tedros, what's your plan for this?
Well, I'm still working on the what we do when we get there part, but given how capable everyone here seems to be, I figured we should probably have a discussion about that. Like, what
I
can
have
we
some
do?
thoughts.
Well, here's the thing. Like I told you, Tedros, I guess I'll tell everybody else. I went to the docks yesterday and just asked them questions about shipping routes and how often ships come here. And for some strange reason, they said ships are kind of rare. They don't really come here. And then lo and behold, the following day, a big fucking ship shows up with everybody ready to work.
I came here on big ship.
Such a pointed look at Viktoria. Just
What?
such. You should have paid attention to your study. It's okay. It's okay.
So yeah,
it's
just
fine.
saying, it's a little suspicious that they told me that, and then the next day a big fucking ship shows up with a bunch of people ready to work.
This town is very suspicious, Montblanc. Okay, that is not the first time something like that has happened.
No.
Yes,
And-
and the ship that I was talking to Galina about this before, the ship that came in to dock, I was invited to work on the ship during the time that me and Galina met, and I have it on good authority that that ship is bad vibes, or at least the man that was like, I don't know, by the ship at the front of the ship. He was on the docks.
Wassam?
Of the ship.
Wassam? Was that his name?
Out of character, I super can't remember
Wasm.
what his name was.
I don't know. I wasn't
It was
there.
Wassam.
Awesome.
It
Yeah.
I
was
don't know if I
Wassam.
was
Wassam.
pronouncing it correctly.
I
but
wasn't
he
there, I
was-
can tell you.
It was Wassam from of the Bladed Scepter.
Which is not very trustworthy
Well,
house.
I didn't ask for his.
I made a note. I haven't
I'm
been
so
making
proud
notes.
of you.
Thank you.
You are turning into mini Galina.
So,
Galina is very
on to write these
helpful.
notes on. I wasn't aware that you had.
so back to the plan at hand, because I don't want to get stabbed on this wagon train, just in case that does happen. Tedros, what are you thinking?
Well, I think that whatever we do it with another person, at least. No one
Buddy
leaves anybody
system.
The
else.
buddy system.
Buddy system.
I agree.
Question. I have a question.
Yes.
Does it have to be the same buddy? Like, are we picking buddies now, or is it kind of just like whoever's near?
If people have a preferred buddy, I think that's okay. But I think as long as it's one of the six of us with another of the six of us, it should be okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so not assigned buddies. All right, got it.
Now, I do have some thoughts about when we arrive. Because the Bladed Scepter house is the one who are spearheading the expedition, and Lord Kenro is the one currently at the ruins.
I'm sorry, who? Lord? You said Lord Canro.
Lord Kenro, yes, as in he is a lord and he can row. a boat.
Wait, isn't Canro the name of the man with the spinner?
Yes. So when we went to go speak with the children, we didn't have an opportunity to, reconnect afterwards. But they said that they got the crank from the man that I'm looking for, and he had delivered a new crank. One of the children had delivered a new crank to the man I'm looking for from a Mr. Canro, but their
From the
children-
south.
From the south.
Is this
So-
North to the south.
is this the same person you told me about when we were drinking?
Mr. Canro, no, but the man that
Yeah.
the delivery was brought
Yeah.
to.
The odds of there being two Canros from Aor are pretty slim. I don't know if you know much about our naming conventions, but
No.
not a lot of people carry the same name.
I don't think anyone carries the same name because like it's very individualized for the luck thing.
Yes.
It can happen if they happen to pick the same words like that. I just read, didn't I?
Yeah.
I thought it was just me.
I thought
Nope.
I was having a stroke.
You're back though. You're back.
There we go. Okay.
We went on a bad trip.
No. So if people can end up with the same name if they one of the same full name, but if they pick the same two, if their full names happen to have the same two words in them, and those are the ones they pick for their shortened name, then it can happen.
Very rare.
Yeah.
Well, it's
But yes.
very unlikely. But Lord Kenro, there's really no reason for him to have any sort of hostilities towards myself or Viktoria. And in fact, I believe it won't be too difficult for one of the two of us to talk to him, me.
I could talk to him.
About what specifically?
Yeah, you should
About-
probably.
Yeah,
Share
no,
that.
just about gaining access to the ruins.
Okay.
I'm sure
We
it'll-
should not
it'll-
mention
yeah.
anything about the crank to this man directly.
I will never mention anything you do not want me to mention ever.
Thank you. But this is a DM question. How close is like the Yorian Empire from where like I'm from?
Excellent question. So
Yeah,
I was actually
same
just
question
working on the
for me,
map.
too.
So where you're from is basically like if you go, there's like north of the Orient Empire, there is one more country, and then there's like a sea, and then right across that sea is where you're from.
Interesting.
And then Justin, where you're from, is actually a little further away, but basically like if you could sail coast to coast from where you're from to one of the coasts of Aor.
Cool.
But like on the opposite side of Aor from where you are now.
Okay.
I also have a question.
Yes.
In terms of like the ranking of the regions,
Mhm.
Where do the 5-star chalices fall in regards to where the Bladed Scepter falls?
Ooh, good question. So both of those are interesting, is kind of the answer. Because they've both basically kind of been doing this lately. 5-star chalice is a older house that has been kind of falling in favor, mostly because your uncle doesn't really care about political like ladder climbing. And then the Bladed Scepter is a very young house that was founded in some relatively recently conquered territory, and they really care about social climbing. So like they're scrambling for power. Your uncle is just kind of gradually drifting down. So it's kind of it depends on the person at this point.
Good to know then, though, because well, I'm gonna share like everything I know about the House of the Bladed Scepter. Like that they're a relatively new house. They are willing to do sneaky shit to climb the social ladder and get rich, but like there's no way for
Look at Tedros.
anybody to have like proven that. So like there's nothing like we can really do about that. But on the backside of that, the house that Viktoria and I represent is quite an older and established house, and so there's a very good chance that this Lord Kenro will want to curry favor with us.
I am going to say this. If this man is connected to the people that I know, he is not trustworthy at any regard. And currying favor, I'm pretty sure, is the least of his worries. With
This
you.
is not what I know about the Bladed Scepter, but
I don't know anything about the Bladed Scepter, but I know where I come from, and if he's at all connected with any of that, all I'm saying is do not go in there expecting good faith in anything he says.
Yep.
Understood, and I will take it under advisement.
Well, that's probably... No, that's definitely worse news than what I was expecting to hear.
Well, what were you
But-
expecting to hear?
I was hoping to hear that perhaps it's kind of finders keepers and they'd be welcome to whoever shows up. And at least I would not have to... Anyway.
So should we like not identify the house that we're from and just come in as like strangers?
It's I don't know why would these noble houses whatever be so curious about ruins though?
It depends on what you find there.
Yeah.
There are some...
Again, they very much are trying to gain as much power and
All right. Then,
money and
yeah.
clout as possible.
Then. Yep.
But to go off of Tedros' earlier point about working together and teamwork, sorry, to bring up the point about Tedros and teamwork, I wanted to talk about this, but if we are going to be working together, that means that we have to communicate with one another. We can't just go off and do whatever we please. We have to communicate and tell each other what we're thinking before we do it. I'm not saying divulge your life history because I sure as hell have no intentions of doing so.
Same here.
But relevant information, like before we throw down displacer meat in the middle of a snowy tundra, is important. And we need to communicate things like that before we set into plans.
Well, I was raised as a farmer, and now I'm a gymnast, and that's about it.
Thank you.
Yeah. I haven't
I'm
traveled.
just gonna like ruffle Yulyanya's hair.
I haven't traveled with people in a long time. It's gonna take some getting used to for me, but all right.
I appreciate that. I do, truly.
All right. Well, we can, I guess, in the caravan go over more specifics. I'll do what I can to help you all, and I hope you don't mind helping me. But
I'll help you, Tedros.
I appreciate it, and whatever I can do to repay the favor, just let me know. I don't have any specific time frames. I don't have any.
It's not a favor, Tedros. It's what friends are for.
Agreed.
At least that's what I've been told.
And also, can I just say, the way that all of these lines are intersecting is starting to feel a lot like
fate.
Like destiny.
No such thing.
Is this when you read the cards?
At that moment, Montblanc just a whisper in your head of allies.
Yeah, I fucking get it.
And
what do you get?
What do you get?
And Princess
So,
just
I think in my backstory I did say that the voice does speak out loud and it's not just in my head.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, let me double check. Let me double check.
Oh, let's double check that because that. Oh, yeah.
That's important.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
No, just kidding. I am a lady. I don't swear.
I have to double check.
I am
one
a
sec. I'm
lady
looking at it
and
right
I
now.
swear.
Oh boy.
I am a dainty little lady.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't specify, so.
Okay. I'm gonna say that it is capable of doing either. In this
Cool,
case, while
great.
there's people, this is probably actually this is probably.
I'm for it if he
this
does
is
it
the first
now.
time.
Roll for it. Roll for it. Roll for
No,
it.
no, it's capable of knowing when it has tact. So no, it will.
Let the dice decide.
It has been out loud.
Decide.
It has been out loud previously.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna let the voice decide. It has been out loud previously, but now you discover that now when you're around people, it is capable of speaking only in your mind.
All right, and what does it say? Allies and
It was just the same 2 words it said the night before, just echoing them again. Just allies and then vengeance.
Vengeance?
Revenge.
Revenge.
Whichever is yes. Revenge. Yes. Whichever's the relevant one.
Okay.
I keep getting
out
mixed
loud
up.
because everything's just going on, and all these voices are out loud at once. Yeah, I get it.
Thank you.
That was a little snippy. No.
Well, I get it.
It's just how Monty is.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but you did not have to be so snippy about you getting it. We were explaining it in quite a nice way.
I was talking to myself.
It was the word is vengeance specifically.
Okay,
I just checked.
Talking to myself.
Well, that's fine. We're getting used to each other.
Lovely. Okay. I'm gonna go look for someone to buy a coat off of. If any of you know a good place for that, that'd be excellent.
Wait. Before everybody goes, I would like to take out my deck. I have my deck. And just kind of like open palms like this. It will just be like, I hereby swear on my deck and my magic that fuck, what's the word? What am I looking for?
I don't know, you're the noble. You're the one who's got all the words, right?
This is not in character. I'm not speaking out loud. Galina pauses for a very pregnant, dramatic pause, and then goes, but yes, by all of this, I swear loyalty to the 5 of you. And that's that.
Cool.
All right.
Galina, as you do that, you actually feel just like a slight hum from your deck in your hands that like really only you notice, and it kind of does feel like the little resonance of magic that happens when you cast a spell.
Yulyanya puts her hand out on it. I swear too.
Great. I think it's less meaningful. Like, I think that the point is you swear on something important to you.
All right.
Oh. She takes out Poppins. I swear on this here rabbit that I am going to stick with you guys and be friends forever.
I'm gonna have to roll for something on my end.
Yulyanya is absolutely the Samwise Gamgee of this party, and at like level 20, we're gonna have a moment where like you're all like half submerged in lava, and Yulyanya is gonna be like, "I can't carry it for you, Tedros, but I can carry you."
Just lifts Tedros over her head.
I swear on the orchid.
The orchid.
And that's all you're gonna know.
All right, I'll take it.
Are we all swearing on something?
I mean, we didn't have to, but we kind of started the chain if you wanted to.
You started the
Yulyanya
chain.
Yulyanya just whispers to Galina, "What is an orchid?"
It's a flower. A very pretty one.
Monty likes flowers.
I don't like flowers. Like I said, I'm not divulging my backs to my whole life story.
You don't want to tell us you like flowers. It's okay.
You're allowed to like flowers.
It's
You
not a
shouldn't
fucking
hold on to this
flower.
toxic masculinity
It's not
so
a
much.
flower. I'm not talking about a flower.
Are you talking about places where fruit grows?
Oh,
Orchard.
Oh,
No,
that's
it's
an orchard.
No. Oh my
But
god.
I wish just one
20
single
minutes
day.
till go time. 20 minutes until we're taking off.
All right. We should
All
get
right,
some
well,
more
we've got things to
situated.
do.
That's
I swear.
Way over. Yeah.
Princess, didn't you say you were cold?
Yeah, I did, but 20 minutes. We do what we can. And then
Yulyanya takes off like 3 of her cloaks and just wraps them around Princess.
Oh, isn't that nice?
all right. Princess.
Does that work for you?
They like come to probably not a terrible height on you.
I'm just gonna drop like 5 gold into Princess's hand and just like go on distract her for a moment. Yulyanya, did you know that blah 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 blah?
And she's just wrapped attention immediately.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can all you've got a little bit of time before it looks like the wagon train is about to get leaving. They have gotten at this point all of the elk all hooked up and everything, and the Workers that came in on the ship have finished loading their stuff up and are finding wagons to get into.
It's just gonna like stand in an open place, just look for some place that looks like it would have something she could buy for like a coat, or like
Yeah.
a person she could buy a coat off of. Like,
Yeah, you can definitely find like cold weather gear is definitely something that is like you can find because that shipment of stuff just came in. You can find like one person like unloading, like sawing through a rope and like undoing it and pulling like burlap off of this giant bundle of just like cold weather gear and clothing and stuff, just like just sorting that into like a stall basically.
Princess is gonna go look through the pile, find like the cutest one, and buy that one.
Oh yeah, you can look through just while you're looking, just hello, can I help you?
Yes, I would like to buy one of these. This one specifically picks up the one that she determines is like.
Oh, all right. I was gonna sort these out and everything, but if you're in a hurry, oh yeah, it like looks over in the direction of the wagon train and just like doesn't recognize you. Kind of just puts two and two together. Just yeah, okay. That'll be 5 silver.
Dang.
I believe I have that. I have that. Hold on.
Forget I just gave you 5 gold.
Yeah. He just gives that. The 5 silver.
Okay.
Yeah. And then running back to everyone else.
While you're running back, you can hear someone else come back, and you can just hear like muffling voices, and you can just hear 5 silver.
It's cheaper than they are in one of the adventure books.
Yeah, I was gonna say cold weather clothing should cost like 10 gold.
It's 10 gold, yeah.
Yeah, you got for like a fraction of the price. But that was clearly one of the people who was just unloading it and wasn't in charge of the sale.
Fucking hilarious.
Just went off of what he remembered.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
Yep. So yeah, you can make it over. Does anybody else need to do anything else before y'all get on the train?
I just gotta pick a fruit fly out of my drink.
Oh,
Gross.
Eat it. Eat it.
You ate a bug?
No, I didn't.
Tedros will run back and grab both of the suits of armor.
Okay.
And return with it, and will first present Viktoria with hers. It looks good to me. I just just double check to see if it's what you need.
You are such a kind friend.
Oh, you don't have to cry. It's.
She just really likes battle stuff.
I mean,
You really hit the nail on the head with this present, is what I'm saying.
Oh,
Is why she's so emotional.
Well, I'm glad you like it.
You should have seen the waterwork she did when Uncle Bliam gave her a dagger.
I left that dagger at home.
Oh, but you love that dagger!
I was in a hurry to get on the boat with you.
Oh,
Oh, I slept in.
yes, you did.
I missed that dagger.
We
I am
got
so
separated and it was your fault.
It was not my fault. I got on the boat to the right place.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I got on the right boat.
I got getting on the caravan.
Yeah,
I
the
don't know what
caravan
you're talking about.
Yeah.
Said it was gonna leave soon, so we should probably get on it.
Yeah, you can. There are some workers that are on the side that are there who can like see you coming, recognize you from saving their lives, and will direct you to 2 wagons, one right in front of the other, about like midway down the train. All right, yeah, you can get in here. There's a spot up top for your luggage. Anything you need to bring with you, bags, anything like that. Otherwise,
Nope.
we'll be stopping for meals fairly regularly, but for the most part, it'll be straight through. So, just let us know if you need anything.
I have a question for you.
Mhm.
Well, 2 actually. What is your name?
Oh, my name.
Yes, your name. What is it?
You're asking one of the.
I'm asking whoever's talking to us right at this
Okay,
moment.
yeah, this is just one of the workers who works on the wagon.
Oh, this is such and such.
Yeah, this is my name is Casta of the Bladed Scepter.
Ah,
Oh,
wonderful.
question. How long is the journey?
That was my second question, so yes.
Well, normally it is normally it's by normal horseback and everything, normally it's a few days, but given the speed that we'll be going at, and with the addition of these new designs, that should speed things up considerably, and we should hopefully be there by tonight.
Oh my god, that is so fast.
Mm-hmm. We know some shortcuts after having made this trip a few times, and now that we don't need to worry about the elk breaking their ankles, we can power through a few of the places that otherwise we avoided.
How many times have you made this trip, if you do not mind my asking?
Good question. I think maybe 3 or 4. Myself, I don't remember if they made it. I think there was at least 1 or 2 before I got here.
And when did you get here?
A few months ago? Yeah, I think a few months ago.
Okay, so like
Or no, a few weeks ago.
a few weeks ago.
Yes.
I am so sorry. I've forgotten your name already. I am so sorry.
Oh, it's Casta of the Bladed Scepter.
That is such a pretty name.
Oh, thank you. Well, my full name is Many Ships Were Cast Ashore by These Tides of the Bladed Scepter. Bladed Scepter.
That's a good name.
Yeah.
That is
Oh, thank you.
Such a strong, powerful name.
I was just going to say strong and powerful. Yes, yes.
Yeah, strong and powerful. You should be very proud of that name. It will bring you great luck.
Thank you very
I
much.
think we should let this person get to their job.
Oh, I'm doing my job and helping you get all set up and everything.
Right.
I'm sure he could stop for a bit of conversation.
Well, who's going to sit where?
I'll leave that up to you. Is there anything else you need from me? Otherwise, I will get to the other passengers.
No.
No, I'm good. Thank you so much, Casta.
Happy to help. I'll be on the train as well, so I'll see you there. All right. Casta will head over, and you all can decide which wagons you all are going into.
I'm going into this one. I get on the one that's like the one in front.
Okay.
I get in the back one.
Okay.
I go at Montblanc.
Okay.
Do you want to go with Galina? She's gonna ask Yulyanya.
Yulyanya hesitates because she's been torn because she's bonding with Galina lately, but Monty's her first friend, so
Oh man.
I think you should go with Montblanc. He's probably going to be very lonely.
I don't want Monty to
My
be
chopped
lonely.
liver? I'm there.
Wait, which one did Princess get on?
The one with
think-
Montblanc.
I think
Oh.
Princess is with Monty, 2 of your best friends.
I want to talk to Princess.
Yeah, go talk to Princess.
She scatters up to that one.
Okay, so then that leaves unless you're going, you can cram 4 in 4. You could technically fit all 6 of you in one of these. You have before, or close to it. But does that mean Tedros and Viktoria are in the one with Galina? Okay, all right. You just wanted
Victoria,
you just-
that was wonderful sleuthing. Very excellent question asking. I am so unbelievably proud of you.
See, I pay attention in lessons sometimes, not actually all the time.
I love you so much.
Love you too, sister.
All right. Yeah, Yulyanya like clambers in after right behind Princess.
yep. Scurries on up the steps, sits right next to Monty.
Howdy.
Like
Hi.
thighs are touching. Like she's like a little too close.
She's just like this little lump of like cloaks and things, just like right up against him.
Amazing.
How's your
So-
hat? How's the hat?
I like the hat. I'm just a little worried about this train ride thing. I've never been on a
Yeah.
train.
Well,
What is it like?
fuck
It's a
if I
pretty
know.
smooth ride. It's a pretty smooth ride as long as nothing attacks us, but I have my doubts.
Well, something has attacked this train before, right?
Twice.
Yeah, the bear that we killed.
Well, and something about the beast and the clicky thing makes me think that there's probably going to be trouble ahead.
I'm more concerned about the people that are on this train.
Oh gosh, I didn't even think about the people that are on this train.
Yeah, we don't want to arouse that we're suspicious. So, questions to a minimum, that kind of thing. Use your eyes.
All right.
I'm saying I won't talk.
No, you can talk.
Yes.
Just if you ask too many questions, people are going to think you're,
But Viktoria
prying.
asked.
Exactly.
Victoria asked a lot of questions.
Exactly. You gotta keep.
That's a
them
bad thing.
It can
I
be.
guess I'm asking questions now. Oh gosh.
No, what you can ask us questions.
You can ask us
like-
questions, but if you.
Okay, well then what was Victoria talking about? I was confused.
Just generic
I don't have any
questions.
information about that.
I'm sorry, like
Who's that?
I can't even say the name of it or it's gonna do it again.
Questions are fine, but at some point, prying questions can arouse suspicion, and we don't want to arouse suspicion.
Okay, I will be very, very careful.
You can ask people what their favorite color is. That's fine.
What's your favorite color, Monty?
Red.
Red. I'll remember that. I'll write a note of it.
All right.
All right. And as you're
Monty, red.
Yep.
as you're writing down that bit of information, you hear some shouting outside, and then the wagons just kind of as the train is pulled taut, and then it starts to just slide along the snow, and it gradually picks up speed as the team of 60 elk pulling it all start pulling it faster and faster and building up momentum, and by the next thing you know, you are full on just like flying over the snow, going basically like running speed of an elk, just down this path and road, moving south. It is basically the path that Tedros and Viktoria took a few days ago when they headed in this direction. It took.
Oh,
Mhm.
sorry.
I
Oh,
was gonna say, took them a few days, but like you can see at this point, you're going much faster than the two of you were going because it was like two of you on one horse. You had to be going like walking speed. This is just full on gallop.
Yulyanya, at the point of it starting to get really fast, would go immediately from worried to excited and like hop up and be pressed against the window trying to look outside.
Okay. Yeah, you can look outside. You can see the snowy landscape is just zooming past you. You can see like hills and bushes and things just go flying past, and you can just kind of see further past out that. Just get some really nice views of just big open snow and ice fields in this southern region as you're speeding along.
Look outside! That's so amazing! I've never gone this fast before. See, this is the thing that I was saying Tedros should make.
That takes a lot of money and people, my dear. It can't be a one-man sort of thing, though I believe Tedros is completely capable, though I believe some of the things he talks about is a bit out of my depth.
Well, at least we got on it.
Yes.
Yep. Now let's just hope we don't get thrown off. We're killed or murdered or
Or attacked?
You are just a spot of sunshine, aren't you, Montblanc? Just
Well-
it's just something suspicious. Like I said, I asked questions about ships last night, how they don't show up here apparently, and then the ship shows up with a bunch of people on it.
Well, I don't see any land sharks so far, so I think that maybe we have a bit of luck on my side. I mean, I think that we're on the right path. And she's gonna get out of her bag like a set of playing cards and start like
Oh, careful!
like
Those are dangerous.
she's gonna start like doing her best impression of Galina doing a reading. But with playing cards from the circus.
Oh my god!
amazing.
Oh my god!
The three of clubs.
The three of clubs means that we are going to find more danger kitties?
That makes sense.
Hopefully not, though. Maybe It's like a 4-leaf clover, except it's only 3 leaves, and that's not good luck either. Okay, now I'm a little bit worried. But they're just cards.
Exactly.
They're all just cards.
Yep.
You know, you can actually read tarot with playing cards. So
Okay.
you can. That's a 3 of Wands, if you know what that means. The 3 of Wands. Yeah. Progress, expansion, foresight, overseas opportunities. Like, you know,
Hey.
not that bad. Pretty good card to pull.
Can I roll? I think Galina is there's definitely like she's definitely like on guard because she's been attacked twice on this train so far. So can I roll both like perception to like just be like really alert to anything going on, and then also deception to like not have it be obvious that she's on edge a little bit?
Sure. So give me the perception first.
Okay, great. That is so much. It's a 24.
Okay, all right. And then give me the deception.
The deception. That is significantly less. That's a 7.
Okay, so
Nice.
Galina is very observant, is keeping an eye on everything, and is like staring out the windows, but is like obviously just like keeps glancing out the windows and like looking out both sides, like sliding back and forth on the little like seat to look out both windows. And
The entire
stuff.
time she's like
Constantly-
trying to pretend she's looking at her nails or something, you know?
just like
Montblanc would be doing the same because like he's like he's been talking about. He's really suspicious of being on. He's like really suspicious of this train.
okay. I'm guessing without the deception check though.
Yeah.
All right, give me a
Just
perception check.
Yeah.
Yep.
17.
Okay. All right. So I'll keep those in mind. So you two, so everyone is just kind of like riding along. You're making whatever conversation. I imagine it's a little tense because you do have your suspicions about things.
Yeah.
But then, so first, Montblanc and Galina would notice that kind of like as you're rounding a hill, you can see the beginnings of the Stone Sea, which, for those of you who haven't been there, the Stone Sea is this entire southern region of Sferuk. It is basically a rising and falling, like almost dune sea-like desert, but instead of sand, it is covered in these flat pieces of shale rock that are about the size of a hand and like incredibly thin. So as the wind blows across the surface of these dunes, since they're so like wide and flat, almost like roof shingles, but like thinner, the wind actually picks them up off the ground and they kind of go spinning through the air. And like when it really picks up, at the very least, they kind of just like slide around over each other. They're very, very smooth stones, so they really slide over each other. Tedros and Viktoria know from experience that you try to walk on these things, they just like slide out from underneath you. Which is and hooved animals like horses and elk, for example, have significant problems walking in this region because their ankles because of how much everything slips, they tend to break ankles. Hence the horse armor, which as you get out into the beginnings of the Stone Sea, you can hear just like this thunderous crunching noise, like grinding, snapping, crunching sound as 60 elk wearing armored boots basically just start thundering across this place. And and then between that and the like metal sleigh runners you're going on, you can actually see just like a cloud of rock dust just kind of starts kicking up from the train as all of the elk just kind of pulverize a bunch of these stones, and then the runners run over it. It almost basically creates like a sandy road that you are then like riding along on the runners as it just keeps going, maintaining the same speed, just thundering through this Stone Sea. You can see there is like no plant life whatsoever. The constantly shifting nature of these thin rocks basically means that any plants that happen to grow up just get like immediately sliced down. A fast enough wind in this region has the potential to do slashing damage to a person who is standing in the middle, who's kind of standing out here. Doesn't happen often, but it can. So that is where you find yourselves. Viktoria and Tedros see yourself going much, much, much faster than you were before. You're pretty sure that if a land shark wanted to come after you, it would in fact need to identify you, and it would have to probably come at you from ahead, because you're going about as fast as that thing could go. So it would be struggling to keep up.
Viktoria is making a point to have her back to the window so that her tattoo can look out the window and have a great time too.
Okay. All right. And yeah, as you're working your way south, flying over the Stone Sea, heading in a southward direction, kind of in the direction that Tedros and Viktoria were going. You can kind of navigate looking out the window and see, mostly Tedros, since Viktoria's got her back to the window. Tedros can identify that you're going through the region you were in. Like before you got to the land shark, you probably, based on this path, were on the right track. It's just that then you got turned around by the land shark and headed back. But it is about this time when Galina and Montblanc, the two that have been keeping watch and rolled very well in perception checks, you're looking out, and it's actually kind of hard to see details because, like I said, there's just a column of dust being kicked up on either side of you from the rocks being pulverized into dust and then kicked up by the runners. But as you're looking out and peering through the dust, you both can spot, coming from the direction of the ocean. It's hard to see at first. Galina, you would spot it first because you got a 24. But Montblanc, as it gets closer, it blends in with the dust that's being kicked up, but it is further away. It's different. It is its own distinct thing, like a cloud, like a swirling, angry, massive cloud, like a blizzard, moving in and coming from the direction of the ocean and coming up alongside you. Basically, it's as you're going forward like this, it's coming to meet you and about to head you off. But both of you see it at a fairly good distance.
To the people in my compartment, I'll be like, we got one of those blizzard things coming again. And I point to it.
Oh no.
In
How is
my
the blizzard out
compartment.
here? Aren't we in the sea?
I'll let you know once Galina tells the people in their compartment.
In
Oh.
my compartment, I'm gonna just be just make a pointed eye contact with Viktoria and then heft up my shield to get ready. Yeah, it's a long suffering sigh. I know it was going to happen.
Seeing Galina grab her shield, Victoria's gonna adjust the armor and grab her axe and get ready.
Oh, Tedros, I'm so sorry. We're about to be attacked.
You're muted. You're good. You're good.
I'm good at this. Tedros just kind of looks okay. And I think he was probably looking at some notes and he kind of rolls it up really quickly and shoves it back in the tube and then loads the crossbow and gets ready.
Okay. Back in the other cart, did anyone think there was conversation happening that we skipped?
Yeah, there's something coming. One of those blizzard things again.
Oh God.
And I point to it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess Yulyanya rushes to the window to look outside and see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with him pointing it out, you can see it definitely getting closer. It blends in with the dust cloud around you, but you can definitely see it now that you pointed out. It's almost like just a smudge moving closer and closer and closer rapidly.
Yeah.
How is there a blizzard? Aren't we on the sea? I mean, the Stone Sea,
It's still
what?
cold. It's still cold out here.
While they're having this argument, Princess is gonna go out into the other thing because she doesn't know that they know, so she's gonna go out to.
Okay, so unlike a normal train, it is just like a series of
Polar
wagons.
Express.
Oh, okay.
Polar
If you want to do
Express.
that, you kind of have to just open the door, step out onto the foot rail. So it's just pebbles and rocks pelting past you as you're going 40 miles an
I've
hour.
had worse. It's fine.
Yeah, and you're holding onto
Don't
the rail,
fall under.
shimmy over, and then open the door, and you can already just looking in the window of the cart ahead of you, you can see Galina hefting her shield and Viktoria hefting their axe, and then Tedros just looking around and just loading a crossbow.
Oh, so you know. Okay, this is lovely.
Just like wave at the window.
I'll say, all right, like, do anything if I can stay here and go back. Okay. She's like, all right, and then she's gonna close the door and like struggle back to the. There's like.
Polar Express is like literally one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, I love the Polar Express.
Your new coat is like whipping in the wind around you as you're just like shimmying along this thing.
I've never seen Polar Express.
It's so good.
We have to have a movie night now. You've cursed yourself to it.
It's like quintessential Christmas movie.
It's the best.
I have a question about like while we're like getting set up, and I think I know the answer to the question, but is there any way, because we're like twins and we're basically like the same person, that I could cast Divine Favor on not myself but Viktoria instead?
Divine Favor normally has a range of self.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with no for now, but that's a good idea for a thing that Galina could start working on it that we talked about.
Yes. I figured the answer, but I just you have to ask.
Yeah. Okay. And like as you're all pretty much prepped and ready, as it gets closer and starts to get more obvious, you can hear voices start shouting back, almost like a game of telephone. There are workers, like train workers, basically spaced out throughout the carts, and you can hear a message just getting shouted back and repeated over and over again, and it gets clearer every time until you can actually make out the words, which is, "We're not stopping. Everyone, hold on. Do what you can."
All right.
I would prefer that we stopped.
Lovely.
It feels more dangerous to not.
Montblanc
The blizzard
smiles.
Blizzard just closer.
Yeah, here we go.
Closer.
Here we go.
You can see the edges of the wind blowing past. And then next thing you know, you are just... What are you all just blasting?
I don't know.
Just
fire,
break a window real quick.
I opened the window first.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So open window, Eldritch Blast.
You see just this bolt of glowing water just shoot out into the blizzard and just keep going. The blizzard hits, the whole wagon train rocks to the side slightly, like almost like one of the right side runners definitely like lift up off the ground a little bit, but then before like slamming back down as this first gust of wind hits it, and it's buffeting around. The windows are rattling and shaking, and the whole thing is like being buffeted around like turbulence on an airplane. You can only see like 30 feet in any given direction as just wind and snow swirls around you. And then
don't open the windows.
You can hear it's already too late. Galina's up there. Just snow is just flying in through the window, just filling the rooms, making it hard to see.
Well, Princess Montblanc and Yulyanya are all in the same one still, right?
Our windows are
okay.
now.
And you do hear you hear just this kind of fluttering sound that's loud enough that it echoes over the sound of the blizzard, and just kind of as something passes overhead, and then after it passes by, you hear
it's a giant seagull.
As something sounds like it lands on top of the train, a few cars up, and something lands a few cars back.
Oh, piss.
Viktoria immediately thinks about if there's a way to get on top of the train, and if she could stay on while moving.
Yeah, it's the roofs are very flat from what you saw, and kind of have like rails around the outside, so you could stand up there. It'd be a little difficult, but you could.
I'll give you a boost. Let's go.
Ball sack.
All right, come on. I'll help you up.
So you two start.
Can I see what they're doing from our compartment?
As you're like looking around and leaning out, you could probably see, if the two of you like open the door and start going.
Yeah.
Would it be easier to go through the door, or would it be easier to like slide out the window and then climb out?
The windows don't open very far, so probably the door, so you could get a full grip and open it up.
Or I could bust a window out this bitch.
You could do that too. So which one are you going with?
No, don't bust the window. Then the rest of our ride will not be as nice. Just go out the door.
I'm not. God.
Okay. So you open the door. Given just the speed that you're going, and also like the wind going around the door, is suddenly just like as soon as you open it, it just like slams all the way open, and then just like shutters in a windstorm, just bang, 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 just slamming into the side of the wagon. So yes, very clear. Like gets your attention in the back wagon as their door is just slamming into the side of their wagon, and you can see, I think Viktoria first.
Oh yeah.
Viktoria first just like gets out, hands up on the top, and just starts climbing up on top of her wagon.
Does it look like a really bad idea from what I'm seeing?
That is entirely up to your judgment.
All right, cool. Wisdom check 13. I'll do the same.
Okay, so Montblanc goes and opens a door, and you're gonna start climbing up too.
Yep, 6'6".
All right.
Let's do this.
All right.
6'5", let's go.
So Viktoria and Montblanc, as you two are climbing up, you can see very big, just hulking, still humanoid-sized,
cool.
Humanoid-esque shapes on top of the wagons, just kind of like standing there, not really bothered by the wind, one on either side. And from everybody, let's go ahead and roll initiative, as you also see a shadow wheeling around in the sky and making its way back.
It's the Lion Man from last campaign.
Yup.
All right.
Okay. All right.
I'll take that. A natural 20 for a 22.
Ooh, all right. I'll go and see. Tedros.
9.
Okay, Yulyanya.
I'm trying to see what I have to add to it. Sorry, I'm using like 3 different devices.
Wait, I'll come back. Princess.
A 19.
Okay. Galina.
Okay.
11.
Okay. Viktoria.
A natural 20 for a 19.
Amazing.
Nice.
Okay, so I have a
Big deal.
oh gosh. Okay, now it's big. +2. I have a 7. But
7 total?
yes, but can I specify that Yulyanya is essentially just like frozen in fear right now, like in the carriage?
Absolutely, yes.
Because like she's having some flashbacks to the circus, because like having fought the blizzard creatures before had like no relation really. I mean, except for the same creatures, but now she's like back in something being attacked by the creatures, and she's wrapped in all these cloaks, and she's just kind of freaking out and like clutching her Displacer Beast hat in the corner of the train.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh no.
Our table, it's broken.
All right.
Shut the fuck up.
No.
All right. So with that, that's going to bring us up to the top of the order with Montblanc.
Yeah. How far away is this hulking humanoid figure?
I'd say it's about 30 feet from you.
Oh yeah. Bonus action: Tentacle of the Deep summon
Okay.
to make an attack. This eyeball flesh tentacle.
Yeah, you're okay. Yeah, you're looking at it as the eyeball flesh tentacle pops up out of the top. It kind of like highlights it against the blizzard a little bit, gives it a backdrop. Or do you put it in front of it or behind it?
What's the width like on top of here, like on these?
Pretty much 5 feet. It's pretty much
Fuck
single
yes,
file.
right behind.
Behind it. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So.
Damn, so close.
All right.
23 to hit.
Oh yeah.
For 4 cold damage.
Ooh. Okay. So you slap into it, and not only does it seem to be absolutely fine with that, it actually seems like some of its like surface just kind of like reforms. Looks like it hadn't really taken any damage, but it looks like that would have healed it otherwise. Because what you can see is appears to be some just kind of lumpy, misshapen person-esque thing made entirely out of snow.
It got hit.
Love
Is its
it.
speed still reduced by 10 feet?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to run up to it, my 30 feet of movement.
Okay.
Get right up to see what this thing actually looks like. It's snow.
Yeah, it is just a
I
big
know what
lumpy
this
thing.
is. Justin knows.
it's
Justin knows what this
yeah,
is.
it's got like a
Fuck.
weird diagonal mouth, just kind of like stuck into a smile. These big
Yeah.
club-like
Yeah.
arms.
Yeah, I know what that is.
Yep, I'm gonna
And then
put
I'm
it
gonna attack
in.
with my flail.
Okay,
Huzzah! Ah! Another 19 for 26 to hit.
yeah, oh yeah, that hits.
Okay. For 10 bludgeoning damage.
That does do damage to it.
And I believe because of Crusher, I can move it 5 feet to an unoccupied space. Doesn't specify direction, so I'm going to swing to the side and knock it 5 feet over the side of the wagon.
Ooh, all right. So you just wha-bam and just hit it right across
Off the
the
wagon.
side.
Yep.
Yep. So I'm gonna give it a dex save to try and just like catch itself because there's plenty of handholds on the way
Oh, yeah.
down.
Come on, fail.
Doo.
I'm going to yell, "We're fighting snowmen!"
Okay. It falls down to basically it is like its hands catch the foot rail, so
Oh,
like
man.
its lower half is just like dragging on the rocks behind it. Its feet are just like kicking every few feet, and it's just like hanging on and just like staring silently and
Yeah.
with it just
And then
expressionlessly
I'll
up
just
at
yell,
you.
"We're fighting
Can
snowmen!"
Yulyanya see it through the window?
It's like a couple
Oh,
carts back.
yeah,
from
yeah,
you,
yeah.
But yeah.
Yes, yeah, yell, "We're fighting snowmen!" And then that's my turn.
Okay.
Do I need to make any saves while I'm on top of this train?
Not right. Actually, no,
Okay,
not yet.
cool.
Not yet. So then,
That was so cool. I'm so cool.
Princess, you are still in your wagon.
Yeah, hearing that, not knowing what we're fighting snowmen means at all, Prince is just gonna like use, I guess, like my full movement to like get out of the train and get up on top of the wagon.
Okay. So yeah, you can. I'll say that you still have like 10 feet of movement left once you get up there, but
All right. And like, I don't know, what am I seeing? What am I looking
okay.
at?
So you clamber up. You can see like just in time to see Montblanc just like smack his anchor into one of these things and send it falling off the side and like hanging onto the foot rails, and then you see another one just kind of like shambling forward from the front.
Ah, lovely. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. I don't have much that I could do from a distance. Is like the one that's coming from the front, like 60 feet from me.
About 30 feet from you.
Okay, then I'm gonna like take my 10 feet of movement still, and then I'm gonna cast Cause Fear.
Okay.
That's a Wisdom saving throw for the Snowman.
It appears to be immune to the frightened condition.
Ah, okay,
It is-
lovely.
it's- You cast this, and there's no mind in there to be made afraid. It is just animated snow.
We're fighting Michael Keaton's Jack Frost.
Yes.
Okay.
Quite abominable.
I'm
I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna head out.
Yeah, like Princess is like, don't fall off. And she's gonna give Bardic Inspiration to Montblanc.
Yeah.
Okay.
How much inspiration is that?
That is 1d6 for your
Thank
inspiration.
you.
All right. That will then bring us to Viktoria. You are already on top of your wagon, so Princess just kind of Princess moved pretty much up to you. Yeah, pretty much moved up to you, like was right behind you.
So our snowman is like 20 feet from me.
Yeah.
Weigh some options here. Fuck it. It's a bad idea. Express, let's go.
If
Victoria
there's one
is
thing about Viktoria.
bad ideas. She's gonna like reach in and grab one of her cards from her
Mhm.
pouch as she walks up to this thing. And as she walks up, she like puts it in her hand and reaches out and grabs the snowman, and it looks like Another hand that can only be described as like a knight's hand also grabs it as I cast Inflict Wounds on it.
Ooh, nice. Okay, roll the attack roll.
That is a 13 plus 6 for a 19.
Absolutely, that hits.
Alright. So that is... Grab all my d10s.
3d10. Nice.
What is 14 plus 8?
22.
I do 22 necrotic damages to this snowman.
So reach out with this card, and you reach out. You just grab this thing, and as you do, just like out of nowhere, this spectral gauntlet just like grabs it by the side of the head, and just like crackling necrotic energy just shoots across his body, just like sending just fissures across its form, just like snow flying off of it in every direction as you inflict a ton of damage onto it. Anything else?
Should I grab a bonus action? I thought that was going to kill it. I will remove my hand from it.
Okay.
And
Good, a gentle pat.
you took that quite well. And get my axe.
Okay. All right, so you're still right in front of it?
I'm right in front of it.
Okay. All right. Then let's see. Next up is look at that. It's the snowman's turn. So the one that is like dangling from the foot rail looks up at Montblanc, and it just kind of like it just like holds out a hand, and as it does, just like a ball of snow appears, and it just hucks it up at you, but it's like hanging sideways off the bottom and is just like trying to do a layup so that it's going to be disadvantage.
I knew it. I knew what these creatures were, Sam.
Yep.
And they're so much fun.
Yeah, they are.
They are snowmen.
All right, that will hit unless the that is with disadvantage a 15.
15 still hits.
Okay, so yeah, just poof, just a big ball of snow just flies up and hits Montblanc right in the face.
Nice.
4 points of cold damage.
Bring it.
Snake eyes. So yeah, just bam, just right up against the side of your head. Just snow flies everywhere. There was ice in there. It's one of those ones where it's like, it's like wrapped up.
Like you're having a snowball fight with like one of the
the worst kids. Just like the ones that like. Yep. Put snow around
gravel
a ball of ice.
in there too.
Yeah. That's what it did. Just hits you in the side of the head, and then it's going to use its movement to start climbing its way up the side. It can basically, or no, it's not. It has a 10-foot move speed, and its move speed is reduced by 10.
So it's at 0.
So it has a 0-foot move speed. It cannot climb up. It's just stuck hanging on there for this turn until its movement speed returns.
Okay.
That will be its turn. The one in front of Viktoria is going to make 3 slam attacks.
Oh,
nice.
That's
Viktoria's
so many.
Slammed by a snowman.
It's just like it's lower, but I put the image in the group chat so you can see it.
Exactly.
That's what they look like. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's like its lower body just kind of like forms up into its upper body and forms like this giant muscular like chest and arms, and just bam, 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 just swings down at Viktoria. So let's see. First one is an 11 to hit.
So now I know Tedros just got some armor for Viktoria.
Mm-hmm.
But that still hits.
Oh, right.
No.
Because of your negative dex
your
modifier.
Dex is so bad, yeah.
Oh boy. All right, so that's gonna be 1 hit. That's a 22.
22 damage?
No, 22 to hit. 22 to hit.
Oh.
I'm just rolling all the attacks.
Yeah,
Would you believe that just hits?
And then a dirty 20.
the snowman was like,
okay.
hit back.
Yes. Just bam, bam, bam. So that's gonna be some damage there.
I find myself sitting here in quite a worried way, wondering if I made a mistake.
I appreciate putting a really just dumping dex.
Mm-hmm.
That's
going to be 10 points of damage on the first hit.
Unconscious, right?
Okay, so that bodies through all of my temp HP.
Mm-hmm.
18 minus 4 is 14.
As it does that, as it does that, as that hit goes through your temp HP, it's like the faces of those 6 people just like flash through your memory as like the extra vitality you got from them like gets just pummeled straight out of you.
If you get killed
Second
by Jack
one
Frost,
is-
I'm gonna laugh so hard.
Second was 9 bludgeoning, or the 9 damage, bludgeoning and cold.
Okay.
And then the
And
third
your
one,
unconscious body falls off the wagon train.
third one is going to be 7 damage.
That's enough.
Wow.
Does that knock her down?
Down.
Okay, so
Almost exactly.
you
I
see
am the wrong
Viktoria
person.
run up, inflict wounds on this thing, and then just like immediately just speed bagged by this snowman, and
That's
just
amazing.
like falls down on top of the wagon. You do fall straight backwards though onto the top of the wagon.
Bless.
But yeah, and as it does that, like the extra mass that like moved up to its like arms and everything just kind of like sinks back down to its lower body and like lowers its center of mass again.
That was really fun.
That was so much fun. Thank you so much for asking.
That will then make it Galina's turn.
Lovely. Well, that very much changed what I was going to do, so I'm not even going to ask the questions I was going to ask. I am simply going to get up top, see that Viktoria is down. Based on where she is, can I get to her with my movement after getting on top of my carriage?
Yes, I believe you can. Yeah.
Okay, great. And is there any way, because she's unconscious, to like swap our position so that like I am the one who is like right in front of the creature?
No, but she does go before the creature does again.
Okay. Well, I am just going to cast Cure Wounds, if that's okay. So I pull the card from my deck, and then kind of like a golden chalice appears where the card was, and it's kind of just like here, have a little sip, as like some water just kind of like pours onto Viktoria's body. To receive a full 9 points of health back. And then I am also going to use my bonus action to summon my Leviathan to wrap protectively around Viktoria.
Okay, so Viktoria, you just like wake up, like it's like this thing just like reared up in front of you. You just bam, bam, bam. Next thing you know, you're waking up. You're on your back, and you can see the Leviathan just like circling around above you as you're looking up with this thing still standing right in front of you.
Hi, Leviathan. Darren says hi.
Okay, anything else from Galina?
You said that there was like something still flapping, like flying
Yeah,
around.
there is a shape flying, circling through the air actually, and is currently actually wheeling around to about to take its turn right after you.
Can I do something to draw its attention to me, rather than the easy pickings of my prone sister?
Not so much really, because you don't really have an action or a bonus action left.
Yeah. All right. I am just going to hang out.
Okay. It is actually going to go for the one that it apparently views as the bigger threat. So this thing swoops down, flying, just diving over the top of the caravan, and 2 people recognize it.
Son of a bitch! I knew it.
Galina and Princess, you recognize the corpse of the Griffon you fought.
It's the corpse of the Griffon?
It's the same. Yeah, it's the same
It's
one.
the same motherfucker?
Yeah, but like
Son of a
glowing
bitch.
with that same blue spiritual ice energy, frost covering its wings, like icicles hanging off of its fur, just like the polar bear was when you fought it.
Son of a motherfucker.
And it's gonna dive down, and it is going to make 2 flyby attacks at Montblanc.
Go for it.
Oh, okay.
Because the one that just knocked one of the snowmen just completely off the train. So that is going to be a 15 to hit.
That
I guess
hits.
it still hits.
Yep.
Okay. And then that is a 12.
Misses.
Okay, so it hits with its beak, it misses with its claws. So the beak does... They're rolling minimum against you. 5 points of piercing damage.
Heck yeah.
It manages to like bite into your shoulder, but then you manage to just kind of like roll out of the way and like it goes to swing its claws at you, but you just like bring your like chain wrapped arm up and it just like scrapes across the chain and just sparks go flying.
Nice.
Bringing us to, let's see who's up next. That is going to bring us to Tedros.
So the door is flapping.
Both of them.
Wind.
Yeah, both of the doors are flapping in the wind. There's one on either side though, so like.
Yeah.
Also, I probably did like shriek Victoria's name when I like got up top and saw that she was down.
Yeah, you probably got it. Like she went right before you, pretty much. You got up just in time to see her like hit the deck.
Yeah.
Just take a little dirt nap. It's okay.
Snow nap. Snap.
Tedros. Can Tedros see Yulyanya?
No, not right now, because you two are in different wagons.
Okay.
So you would have to like get out of your wagon. If you get out of your wagon, then yeah, because they're close enough, you'd be able to see in through the window and probably see her just like huddled in the corner.
So he steps out of the wagon, and he sees her.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of him turning to try and climb up top, he grabs his holy symbol, and speaks something in Celestial. And you can, and so what you notice is if you were looking above, you can see that a small a small owl spreads its wings, and feathers begin to fall on top of Montblanc,
Sick.
Galina, and Viktoria, and he casts Bless on all three of them.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
That was what I was going to do before Victoria went down. So thank you.
So I've got Bless and a D6 of Bardic Inspiration. Nice.
What does
And
Blast
Tedros, do you do that? Do you still do that like from like down below? Basically, you kind of just like peek up and cast that. Okay.
Well, I don't know if does he have to have line of sight? I don't know if he has.
I don't actually know if you need to have line of sight on Bless. That'd be a good thing to check. You can get line of sight pretty easily, and it requires no movement. But
it just says
not an
creatures
issue.
of your choice within range. You don't need sight.
Okay, yeah. So you can just like be aware of them. So you don't even have to have line of sight. You could technically do that from inside your carriage.
And
yeah, so he's doing it as he's walking as best he can across the gap.
Okay.
And he goes into the other carriage. And
okay, you pass like right by the other snowman that's like hanging from that foot rail. Like your foot is like within a foot of his hand as you just like step over that and just like go sit down inside that one.
And he just looks and just gives Yulyanya a nod.
Can Yulyanya have heard the Celestial?
Probably, yeah. It was like right there.
What would it have meant?
He said, bless us with your divine protection.
She would have looked up from where basically when the cabin rocked, she started falling, and being wrapped in all the cloaks reminded her of being wrapped in all the silks from her performing. So she is huddled in the corner and basically just saying like, sister, sister, sister. And then she hears that and she goes, sister, and then says, Tedros. And then can I assume Galina would have said like Victoria's name?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They would have heard that, and then she would have said, sisters, oh, we've got to get up there.
It is actually your turn if Tedros is done.
Yeah, Tedros gives a nod and he's like,
so she steels herself and slips out of some of her cloaks, and kind of like visibly takes in like a breath to try and calm down, and then starts like climbing pretty deftly up because she's an acrobat.
Okay. Yeah, you can climb your way up. So you get to the door and you can see one of these things just hanging from like the foot rail, just like feet dangling and just like kicking in the dirt below as it's just like trying to stay on the thing. But if you want to just bypass that one and go right up on top, you can do that.
Well, can I throw a dart at that one?
Yeah.
Absolutely, you can. Yes.
Kill it.
Let's see. Ooh. That's gonna be a +4. 22.
Absolutely, yes. Because just dart slams down into it.
Let's see.
Carrot nose.
Dang, that's only 5.
Okay. I forgot to mention for Montblanc with the anchor and also with this. It seems like it's not doing quite as much damage as you thought, since it is a non-magical weapon. So these things do seem to be somewhat resistant to just mundane attacks. Still takes damage though.
Figured. Okay.
And it does just sink into the center of its face and stick out like a carrot nose.
Yeah.
Love it. We love to see it.
So yeah, then you can climb up onto the top.
And then she uses the rest of her turn to climb up top and assess the situation.
Okay, you can see kind of in order. We've got Viktoria on the ground, or you've got one of the snowmen like furthest up ahead. Viktoria laying on the ground. Right behind Viktoria is Galina, and then right behind Galina is Princess, and then like behind you is Montblanc.
With a griffin.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But no, the griffin. Sorry, I forgot to mention the griffin was a flyby attack, so it flew down, bit into you, just like scraped the claws against your veins, and then just kept flying and is like off the other side and coming to wheel back around.
Okay.
So,
Danger, birdie.
Yep.
Yulyanya, given your acrobatic abilities and your monk speed, you do have some more movement left. You could potentially, if you wanted to get up to the snowman at the front and use your bonus action to attack it, you can. I would just ask for an acrobatics check to basically kind of just like tightrope walk along the edge of the very edge of the wagon to get up close to it to bypass everybody else.
Acrobatics is still a D20?
Yep.
Ooh, nat 20.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
I will actually say I'm going to give you advantage on this attack because basically, like, everybody is laying down. Like, Victoria's laying in front of it. Galina's like they're cradling Viktoria. Princess is right behind, having just tried to cast a spell and it didn't work, and so it is not paying attention. And it thinks that it's just got like these are the people and it has to deal with. You basically just come like. Just like ninja running along the like top, like the cargo rail on top of this thing, like right up next to it, and then like basically just like anchor your hair onto the rail as a handhold, swing out like off the side of the thing, and then come swinging in with a kick. Go ahead and roll an attack with advantage.
Oh dang! It's only an 8.
Did you roll? You rolled twice.
Oh, that's
advantage. So advantage is you roll twice and you take the better.
8 was the better.
Okay. So you do miss.
So
okay.
Wait, so
wait,
8,
no, never.
Wait, it's 8 plus
Oh yeah, 8 plus your attack bonus.
my attack, which is I'm not sure which one. Wait.
I think it's +4 from our last
Oh.
I think so,
encounter.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. So 12.
That does hit. Let me tell you, the 8 also would have hit.
Amazing.
These are just big, slow walls of snow. They are
we
not.
love to see it.
They are easy to hit. So yeah, you can just swing up and just bam, foot across the face.
So that's a 6.
6 damage. Okay,
Yes.
so that's going to be reduced to 3 because it's resistance, but that is still damage. All right, and then you're going to just kind of like swing back and land behind Princess. That's the only available spot.
Perfect.
But okay, that will then bring us back up to the top of the order with Montblanc.
How far away is the griffin?
It is 40 feet away from you.
Hex.
Okay.
And we're gonna go for strength.
Okay.
And then as it's hexed, pew pew, Eldritch Blast.
All right.
So the tentacles pop out of the arm and toss it at it. That'll be 13, but I'm gonna roll my Bardic Inspiration. I think you can use Bardic Inspiration on attack rolls, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
So that'll
Did
be.
you
already roll Bless?
Oh, I didn't roll Bless. I'm gonna roll Bless first, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, do that.
So that's 13 plus 4. 17.
So 17?
Yeah.
Okay. That will hit.
So that's 9 force damage from Eldritch Blast.
Ooh,
And
nice.
then Hex is 5 necrotic.
So was it 14 points of damage? Nice.
Yep.
So yeah, it's flying away from you. It does look like this thing is harder to hit than it was last time Galina and Princess fought it. It's like just like the polar bear, the like frost and ice covering it kind of creates an armor coating. But that just punches right through it and manages to hit and do damage. And this one is not resistant to this type of damage.
I'm gonna look down at the snowman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I'm so compelled just to like jump on it.
Hey, it turned out great for me.
Oh, I want to jump on it. Knock it off the train.
Up to you.
That I could fall off the train.
You certainly could.
Fall off the train.
Montblanc isn't stupid. He's gonna stay up top.
Okay, all right. That'll make it Princess's turn. So, Princess, you can't try to cast fear on this thing, nothing, and then you saw Viktoria run up, do a bunch of damage, and then just get rocked.
Oh man.
So you're just been standing up here and saw this whole thing, and then behind you, the Griffon that you killed before swoops down and attacks Montblanc.
G bless for bless.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I would like to rage.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna like use my movement to like maneuver around the people kind of in front of me, I guess.
Okay. So you are all basically, so it's pretty much single file. You're all in a line, but what you can do is you can move through allies as difficult terrain as long as you don't end your turn in the same space. So basically, you'd have to spend your movement like moving up to like standing over Viktoria, attack, and then just like move back to where you were.
All right.
Okay.
That's solid. Okay.
Only thing is that it does open you up to an attack of opportunity when you move back.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, then I'm gonna use my, my sickle. I'm going to make an attack with that.
Okay, go ahead.
That is. Oh, I think that definitely hits. That's a 23 to hit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
That's 7. Did I roll the wrong? I rolled the wrong thing. Hold on. Wait a moment. I was like, that's not right. Okay. Oh, it's still 7. So okay. So it's 7 damage on that.
So that gets reduced because it's non-magical, but still takes damage.
Yeah. And I used my bonus action already.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm gonna do the move, I guess, back to where I am.
Okay. So then you can kind of like come up and just like. It's kind of just like you can do like a miniature version of what Yule did, just kind of like move up alongside everybody, like leap off the guardrail, slash at it, and then just kind of spin past them and move away from it. But it is going to take a swipe at you as you go.
Yeah.
So with its slam attack, which is going to be an 11 to hit.
Yeah, that doesn't hit.
Okay, so just swipes through the air. You can feel like a bit of powdery snow off of its hand, just like hit the back of your neck, but it does not successfully do damage, and you can just hop away.
Yeah.
Bringing us... Yeah.
Being behind her, do I get an attack of opportunity?
No, because there's a good distance between you and it. So.
Oh, it's still... Okay.
Yeah. And so it gets an attack of opportunity because she moved away from it, so... that will bring us to Viktoria.
I had a wonderful little dirt nap, everybody.
Mm-hmm. You're prone right in front of it.
Wait, hold on. Sorry. Wait, that's actually 9 damage. I forgot to add my +2 to melee.
Okay.
So it's 9.
All right. Added.
Sick. I will use half movement to stand up.
Okay.
And I'm gonna take out some rage on this bitch and just go for a Viap.
Okay, go ahead, roll it.
Shit, I should really write this down. I don't know what to add. It's a 16 on the die. I don't know what I'm adding.
That is your proficiency bonus plus your strength bonus.
That is a 21.
That will absolutely hit, yes.
Okay. What is a great axe?
D12.
D12. Plus strength and proficiency?
Just plus strength.
Plus strength.
Yeah.
Even though I'm proficient with it?
Proficiency just adds the attack roll, not to the damage roll.
Yeah.
Yes, that's... It's 2 at least, right? Or is it 2? I should really have this written down. I am so sorry, everybody.
What is the D12 used for, you said?
Great axe.
Damage for a great axe.
Oh.
Great axe. Plus my proficiency, so 9 plus proficiency.
No, plus strength.
Plus strength. Oh! Oh, that's a 12.
Okay, so 12 points of damage.
Yes.
Okay.
The
We're used to
12
half-
on my die doesn't exist. It doesn't say the 12. I was
Interesting.
confused.
All right, so you said 12 points of damage, which is reduced to 6 because it is resistant to non-magical damage, but it's looking bad. It's looking real bad. I'm going to tell you that right now. This thing is like falling apart, just like you slash up and just sends snow flying and splattering across the top of this wagon, and it is not looking good at all.
But it goes right after me.
It does go right after you. Do you have a bonus action you would like to use?
To get away, maybe?
You do have your move. Well, yeah, you have half your movement still.
But I would have to go through everyone as difficult terrain.
You could. The other option would be to drop down
Yeah, jump
off
off
the
the- jump
side
off
and
the train.
shimmy back.
What's the worst that could happen?
Just did. No, I'm the tank. I'm gonna stay.
Okay, so Viktoria just swings at this thing, sees that it doesn't go down, plants her feet, and just gets ready.
With a sigh, just like
Yep.
Here we go.
All right.
go.
First, yeah, so that's gonna make it their turn. So this one, the star of the show right now, is gonna
Natural
just
20.
boom, just swings the first attack down at you for a
Did I bring it into existence?
6.
Oh.
I believe a 6 misses even Viktoria.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Second
Yes.
attack is a 19.
Oof.
Sure.
Natural 20.
Sure.
Okay. That is gonna be 18 points of damage.
Unconscious.
But then,
Back
Oh,
up at
right.
3.
yep,
Oh,
Leviathan just circles around, lights up, and brings you back up at 3.
Wow.
But you do fall prone from going down. So then its third attack, just you wake up just in time for the third attack to come down at you with advantage because you're prone. Which is going to be a 17 to hit. And yeah, I'm not even gonna. It cannot do less than 3 damage. So just
Yeah.
it was like misses. You're like ha ha, and then it just punches you right in the face. You fall down. Leviathan wakes you back up just in time to see another one come down and just like bash you into the top of the wagon. The whole wagon just shakes from that, and you're back unconscious.
I'm the tank.
but
Hey,
No.
took all 3
Yeah.
took all 3 hits. Nothing
I
got
took
past.
all 3 hits.
That's right.
And
That's
any
what tanks
damage
do.
against me is not damage against you guys. So I'm the
There
you go.
tank.
Exactly.
Fantastic
other-
point.
The other one was not hit by the tentacle this turn, so it has movement.
Yep.
So it climbs
At
its
10
way
feet.
up. It manages to climb its way up. Basically, it doesn't get on top of the wagon. It gets into the wagon with Tedros.
Oh no.
Tedros, there's
Fuck.
Snowman.
Yeah, so
Tedros.
Tedros, this thing just climbs up and just like pushes its way through the door. But given how big this thing is, and given that like wagons are not a full 5 feet by 5 feet, it's going to count as squeezing. So all of its attacks will be made at disadvantage.
Squeezing
So-
rules.
Yeah. So it's gonna it's bumping up against the top. It hits its elbow on the little like oil lamp in the corner and like bends it at a weird angle. Its head is hitting the top of the wagon, but it's gonna try and swing some
Are there
punches in at
doors?
Tedros.
Are the doors and windows open?
Just the door. That's how it's able to just like climb in.
There's only one door in the cabin.
No, there's one on the other side, but only one's open right now.
Gotcha.
That's the door that Yulyanya just left out of.
Gotcha.
So it's gonna first attack with disadvantage is a 8.
Misses.
Second attack with disadvantage is a 6.
Misses.
Yeah.
And the third attack with disadvantage is a 10.
misses.
So Tedros is in here. This thing just like comes in and starts swinging and punching down at him. Tedros is like leaning back on the seat, picks up a seat cushion, like uses it like a shield, rolls over into the opposite seat as it like slams down into the upholstery and sends feathers just flying up everywhere. It's just,
Yeah.
the entire wagon is rocking side to side.
Yeah, he's definitely not having a great time. But I think he's actually probably more calm than you would expect right now. He's just watching and he's just like stepping out. He grabs the cushion to throw it off and then takes a step back as one of the last punch comes down. And is it his turn next or is somebody else?
It is Galina, Griffon, Tedros.
Got it.
So Galina, you're up next.
Yeah, honestly, Flo as the player doesn't want to do this, but I think Galina who is like genuinely always really well put together and like doesn't really crack, is cracking immensely right now after watching Viktoria go down twice.
3 times technically.
Yeah, and I don't think I take a turn. I think I'm just paralyzed by like everything that's happening right now. That's
awesome.
Oh, yeah.
She just like freezes up as she's like, do I go help Tedros? Do I heal? Like, what do I do? What's going on? This is so much more than I've ever encountered before, and I'm so genuinely afraid.
Okay. Also take DM inspiration, please.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Then that'll make it the Griffin's turn. The Griffin is going to fly down overhead. You can see it actually. It's going to inhale, and it's going to let out just a line of cold pretty much across the entire top of the wagons. So I'm going to need everyone on top of the wagons to make me a dexterity saving throw.
Wouldn't Victoria automatically fail?
Yes, and that would be one. That would be, I believe, one failed death save for Victoria.
Sorry, what do we roll for that again?
Roll, add your dexterity bonus.
Fuck off.
13.
If you're blessed, you get to add a...
Right,
thank you. You can add bless. You can add bless.
15.
Fuck off.
Okay.
Fuck.
I rolled a natural 20 and a 4 for a 25.
Okay. So everyone who got more...
I rolled a 5 plus 4.
4, so 9.
Oh,
okay,
wait.
that's gonna be...
Wait, just your dex or
or if you're proficient in dexterity saving throws, you add your proficiency as well. I think monks are too.
There's a special
Oh.
saving throws.
Yeah.
You should be proficient as a monk.
Yeah.
So which proficiency then?
So it should be if under saving throws, there should be one that says dexterity. It's that one.
Yeah, that's the one I used.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was a 9 total then.
Yes.
Okay. So as it flies over and just like coats the top of everything in ice, everyone who failed takes 4 points of cold damage. It rolled terrible.
What's the DC?
I was sorry, DC. I didn't tell you. DC is 13.
So I take 2.
And then everyone who succeeded takes 2. And
take 1.
Yeah, you take 1.
What's my concentration for Hex? Would it still just be 10?
Yeah,
DC 10. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's any damage.
And that's a con save. Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's gone.
21.
Okay.
Wait, no, math is wrong. 16 plus 4, 20.
Okay.
Still got Hex.
Galina, can you use the Leviathan on a reaction, even if the person, even if it was, is it any damage or is it just attack rolls?
Let me look at the wording, but I feel like it might just be attack rolls. When a creature you can see within 60 feet of you hits the protected target with an attack.
Okay. Because otherwise, you could have actually just brought Galina. You could have just brought Victoria back up as a reaction.
Oh man. Rolling that one on your death save.
Actually, you know what? No, that is no. Wait, actually, hang on. Wait. Let me check something.
They're attacking.
Yeah, and I was talking to the creator of the class who gave me some stuff that they said needed to be fixed.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
Homebrew is constantly as someone who does a lot of homebrew. Yeah.
Actually, let me just check. The intention for that one was actually any sources of damage.
Oh my god, yeah. Then just as a reaction.
Yes. So So it's like you're panicking, you're freaking out, but then you like get hit by this blast of cold, and you see it like further injure Viktoria, and that can snap you out of it, and you can activate the Leviathan on Viktoria as your reaction.
Yeah, that's what I am going to do. Please.
Okay, go ahead.
3 more hit points.
All right, so Viktoria, you lose a death save, but then immediately pop back up at 3 hit points.
I think it's activated by just like a genuine, just like wail of despair from Galina, but like it's in primordial, so it's like just like a very sorrowful wail call. And that's kind of what you wake up to. Is like
all right.
The Leviathan mirroring the call.
All right.
I also like to use a reaction when I got a hit. I would like to use sudden cacophony. And it doesn't say like what kind of saving throw the Griffon would have to make. But it would have to be my proficiency bonus plus my AC, so that would be an 18. It'd have to be an 18. And after that, it would be it would miss for me, and it would be deafened.
Okay. So it specifically says it causes a miss, though, right? Because this was a saving throw.
Yeah, saving throw. Yeah.
Well, no. So you made a saving throw, so it wasn't an attack roll against you.
Okay.
Yeah. So that works when something makes an attack roll against you. That one's not any source of damage.
Okay.
But yes.
Do I have any cool reactions?
I don't know. Do you?
No.
Okay. That'll bring us to Tedros. You can just keep hearing Galina screaming from the top of the train. It sounds like things are going very badly up there.
She's always so well put together too.
No, oh yeah, the Griffon flew over, did that, and then kept going.
Okay.
So Tedros doesn't normally use it, but there's a rounded lump on his back, and he reaches under some of his like thicker winter clothing, like the outer, and he pulls out a shield. He grips his holy symbol, and then as he pulls it back, it looks like he's pulling away like feathers, and he slams it against the shield and brandishes it at the creature, and he'll use his action to channel divinity, but this time he'll use arcane abjuration. If the creature is a elemental, celestial, fiend, and I'm missing the other one. Fae, yeah.
Okay.
So celestial, elemental, fae, or fiend. It is turned for a minute. Can't approach. Can't willingly end its turn within 30 feet of me. It also can't take reactions.
Okay. All right. And that is that targeted, or is that a radius?
That one is targeted specifically for the one in front of him.
Okay. All right.
It says that for its action, it can only use the dash action or try to escape from an effect that prevents it from moving.
Is there a saving throw for that, or does that just happen?
Wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Wisdom saving throw. DC is 13.
These things are listed technically as constructs, but based on what is animating them, this counts as an elemental.
Nice.
So,
nice.
That is going to be a 4. So
okay.
it is terrified. It is just repelled by you. So all right.
So it can only dash. If there's nowhere to move, it can use the dodge action.
Okay. Well, there's places to move. So. Okay. Anything else?
That was his action.
Okay.
For his bonus action, okay. For his bonus action, he's gonna slightly freak out, be glad that it actually worked, and he'll call out to Viktoria and say, "Keep fighting," in Celestial, and he'll use his bonus action to cast Healing Word.
Okay.
So she'll get back 5 hit points.
Okay.
Nice.
Not
Call.
terrible.
You hear. Yeah. The Leviathan wakes you up, then you hear Tedros also yell at you, and then like, just like a flutter of like glowing feathers just like drifts up from in the wagon and hovers over you for a second, sprinkling healing energies onto you.
Shit.
Hmm.
I am debating things.
Okay.
Actually,
Oh.
he will still cast the spell, but he will still cast a spell, but it will not be Healing Word. It will be Shield of Faith.
Okay, and
Yeah.
casting it still on Viktoria?
Still on Victoria.
Get that AC.
Okay, so Viktoria, your AC goes up by 2.
Wait, I am so confused. I like zoned out.
Sorry.
You didn't heal, but your AC is up by 2.
Okay, all right.
You have AC.
Yeah. Was that bring it up to 12?
That brings it up to 13.
13.
If
Okay,
it's
okay.
Plus 2.
Yes, okay. Okay. That'll bring us to Yulyanya.
Their AC
Okay,
was like
where
9.
is- Where is everybody in relation
All right.
to me?
So we've got the order of everyone just kind of standing up on top here. We've got Snowman farthest ahead, right in front of Snowman, Viktoria on the ground. Right behind Viktoria, Galina falling apart. Right behind Galina, Princess with the 2 sickles. Right behind Princess, Yulyanya. A little ways behind you is Monty, and then down in the wagon right behind you is both Tedros and a Snowman.
Okay. I think Yulyanya would go back down to Tedros.
Okay.
Wait, how is Tedros? I thought Tedros was helping Viktoria just now.
He did. He
But from
did it at
down
range.
below.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I go down to help.
Okay, so you it's kind of blocking the doorway, so like you can't really get into the wagon
Okay.
that it's standing in, that it is in.
Can I bonk his butt?
Yeah, you can like kind of swing that. You can like hang one hand on the thing and just like smack at it from behind. Yeah, I'll allow that.
Okay.
So-
Yeah, I hang from the rail with the braid, and then the quarterstaff just comes round and
Roll an attack,
Sweet.
and I think it has. Yeah, you have advantage because it is squeezing to fit in the space. It's not.
Uh.
It's even easier to hit because you just have to swing through a doorway. It's like outlined for you.
oh dang. Wait, is that it? Oh, they're not marked. I can't tell if this is a 6 or an. Oh, they are marked. It's a 6. Dang it. So 6 plus 4.
10 still hits.
Okay.
Thing is a broadside of a barn.
Awesome. Four plus 4, so 8.
Okay, 8. Reduce back to 4 because it's resistance. All right. And then are you going to bonus action kick it?
Absolutely.
All right, roll that one too.
Oh, 16 plus 4, 20.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
All right. And 4 plus 4, 8.
Another 8. Okay, all right. So you just like smack at it, like whacking it in the back and stuff as it's like
Whack,
taking steps
kick,
back
kick.
away from, it's taking steps away from Tedros. They'll bring us up to the top again with Montblanc.
How far away is the Griffon this time?
Still 40 feet. It's got an 80-foot fly speed.
Okay.
It just keeps coming in 40 feet, just like swooping back. and
Eldritch Blast.
Go ahead. So just everyone else is fighting the snowman, and Montblanc just standing here on top of the train. Nice.
And I'm a
Montblanc is just standing here on top of the train.
Savage attack too.
Does that count on spell attacks? too?
Yeah, listen to this. Because I'm excited. I was reading it. When you score a critical hit, roll one of the dice an additional time and add it to the extra damage. So that's
Nice.
3d10.
3d10 plus 2d6 because you still got hex up.
Oh! Sorry, I got really excited.
Yep. So Montblanc is just like everyone else is fighting the snowman. Montblanc is just here like feet braced, like holding his hand, just anti-air blasting at this griffin as it's flying back and forth above.
I rolled 2 9s and a 10. So 18, 28.
Okay.
And 2 6s.
Oh.
So that's 34, 40.
40 points of damage. So Montblanc is like, this thing is flying away. Montblanc is just like sighting between his fingers at it, hand out, like hand braced on the other one. You're sighting at it. You're trying to get a look at it, and all of a sudden, like the tentacles like writhe up off your wrist and just like wrap around your hand. There's just this glow of pale green light before you just launch off this bolt of force up at it, and then the hex basically just forms these like shadowy tentacles on its wings that just like lock it in place for a second, so keeping it from being able to move out of the way. Just as this just slams into it. So he's had 40 points of damage.
Yeah.
Let me okay. Yeah, okay. It's still up, but it looks terrible. You just like blow a hole through it, and you can see just like exposed ribs on this thing with that swirling blue energy inside of it.
And you said it was 40 feet away?
Yeah.
Could I move to get... is it 40 feet up or 40 feet away?
It's 40 feet, like, both away and up. It kind of, it's like, it comes in diagonally every time. It, like, comes in diagonally, attacks,
the
and
reason
flies
I'm
up
asking is the
diagonally.
fun thing about your the tentacle thing is it says a point in range. It doesn't specify a surface, so you could summon it in the sky.
Yeah, you could.
But it's the 30. I need to be 30. I can only do it within 30 feet. So
Does
it's got
it
10 foot
have
reach
a
though.
10
But doesn't have 10 foot reach.
I'm gonna run, get underneath it, and as actually I can do it from here. So I'm gonna summon it 30 feet up into the air.
Running would get you off the
So bonus action, I'm gonna move it to underneath it and then just whack it from the air as the tentacle form comes like out of a rift in the sky. Just
there's this cloudy, this just thunderous like green glowing cloud just appears in the air, and this tentacle just comes sprouting out of it and smacks at this griffin.
All right. Okay. I'm gonna add my bless on that.
Okay. And you still have the bardic inspiration if you need it.
8 to hit.
Ooh,
oh wait,
yeah.
sorry. I didn't add the modifier. 3 plus 4.
7.
7 plus 2.
9.
9
plus 3. Yeah.
Is 12. Was that, and that was with the bardic inspiration too? Okay. Still no. Still
there
no.
goes my
It,
bardic
like,
inspiration.
smacks at it, doesn't get through the ice
tentacle's
armor.
there, so I can get an attack of opportunity. Haha.
That's true. That is true.
All right, that's my turn.
Okay, that'll bring us to Princess.
Damn.
Sorry. I just lost my train of thought. What I'm gonna do? Yeah, I'm gonna try to like. I'm just gonna like Galina, darling. You have to move out the way.
I would fucking love to.
Yeah, like I don't know what. That's a you problem to figure out, but she's gonna like again do the maneuver around Galina to make an attack.
Go ahead.
Snowman. That is that's a 19 to hit.
Absolutely, yes, that will hit.
That is 5 damage. For that one. And then I'm gonna do my bonus action to take another swing at him. That would be 20 to hit, which I think pretty hits. And that is 6 points of damage, so 11 points of damage in all.
I just heard a lot of thunder, so if my internet goes out, I'm so sorry.
There it goes. There we go. Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
5 damage.
I just did a whole bunch of damage. So like that's 11 damage total because I did I attacked again with my bonus action. Yeah.
I'm getting, yeah, you get more than 8, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. How would you like to finish off the snowman?
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah, so since he's like swinging up around Galina, she's gonna like take one of her sickles like around his throat and like kind of like spin around his throat and like take the other one across, just like doing a little turn around his throat with her 2 weapons before
it's
landing.
It's like a little can
landing
opener.
down in front of him. Yeah, and just
and then he just falls into slush. All right. So that was your action, bonus action movement. You can just stay in the snowman space.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That'll bring us to Viktoria.
Victoria is so incredibly tired,
Mm-hmm.
but the fight's not over. Again, we're gonna get up, take stock. So it's Princess, Victoria, Galina, Montblanc on top.
Yes, and then Yulyanya is like hanging from the side of the train, smacking at one of them from down below, and then Tedros is in that wagon with that one.
Can I see Tedros?
No, you're on top of a wagon. He's inside of the one like behind the one you're on.
But I can see Yulyanya attacking a snowman.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Seemingly by herself.
She's
Pretty
basically
much, yeah.
like hanging onto it with the braid, but like bouncing off of its butt, just like kicking it as she like just jumps, trying to get it out of the train because she knows that Tedros is in there.
Well, you'd actually be pushing it further into the train because of the way you're coming at it from the outside.
Oh, she's just trying to do damage.
Well, right, yeah.
I'm not saying her plan makes sense.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Is there a way that I could, or Viktoria could, kind of slide in there and also be attacking the snowman, or because of Yulyanya, is it like?
No, also because you need to stand up because you're still prone from having been unconscious, so you wouldn't have enough movement to make it back there.
One problem at a time.
Okay. Okay. You could, in theory, get there, but you don't have. The issue is movement.
What's my crawl speed?
Half.
Oh,
5 feet.
That's right.
It's 5 feet. That's it. That's everyone's crawl speed. Like, I think there's a feat that might change that, but
Crawling at like 60.
You didn't take the crawler feat?
You know,
the General Grievous feat.
Yeah.
you know,
Hello
I
there.
don't really love that. I'm gonna stand up.
Okay.
Just like brushing the blood and the snow off of her, just like clutching her ribs that are more than likely broken. And she's just gonna slowly 15 feet of movement to get closer to that snowman.
Okay. And then anything with your action?
Okay, getting 15 feet. How far would I be from the snowman?
Probably about 15 feet.
Awesome! So that snowman, in its mind, is gonna hear the crackling of branches. And I need a wisdom save for Toll the Dead.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
That is a 1. That is not a natural 1, but an adjusted 1.
Okay, and it's taken damage, correct?
Yes, it has.
Sick. That is 10 necrotics.
Oh, nice. All right. It is hurt. It's not looking good, and it is abjured by Tedros. Anybody else? Anything else? Or that was your action? Do you have a bonus action or no?
No,
Okay.
not one that I can use right now.
All right. That will then make it the snowman's turn. The snowman cannot take any action but dash because Tedros already kind of took care of it. Everyone has been jumping on to help Tedros. But what both of you discover, both Yulyanya and Viktoria discover, is that Tedros apparently handled this thing back on his turn. It turns and jumps out of the train.
Good.
I like to think
I
that
froze
it
the
was me that
first
did
time.
that.
That's so fun. Just
Yeah. So it just turns and just leaps off the thing, like right past Yulyanya, and just bam, 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 bam. It just like rolls and just vanishes back.
what
into the
the
blizzard.
heck?
Which
And
the
it is-
way that Yulyanya has been swinging, she's probably swinging right into the cabin now.
Just land back in the cabin right next to Tedros.
Yep.
What?
All right.
combination?
And that'll make it Galina's turn. You still got a Griffon 40 feet away with a tentacle next to it to worry about.
Yes, we do, don't we?
Mhm.
Okay. Kind of like Victoria is up again. Things are right in the world. She scrapes the frozen tears off of her, like she like peels them off. Looks up at the Griffon, pulls out a card, throws it out, and again like the 8 cups appear in just like a moving circle. And I'm gonna cast Guiding Bolt? Yeah, Guiding Bolt.
Ooh, okay, nice. Roll the attack roll.
Okay. It hits. It's a natural 19.
Okay, yeah, absolutely.
The math isn't coming to me, but
Yep,
it's
fair.
there.
Roll the attack. Roll the damage.
Oh god. 6, 6. 14 points of radiant damage.
Woo! All right. It is so terribly hurt right now. It is on death's door at the moment.
Excellent.
And now your tentacle has advantage.
Yeah, it does.
It is glowing. Yep.
She's just like, enough.
All right. That'll make it. Anything with a bonus action, or is that your turn?
I'm gonna, just in case, I'm gonna move my full movement to stand beside Montblanc.
All right.
Okay.
Oh.
That will then make it the Griffin's turn. The Griffin just has to move, even like if it doesn't attack anybody, because it's keeping up. There we go. So it has to move to keep up with the train. So
Yep.
it has to move. So attack of opportunity from the tentacle with advantage because of guiding bolt.
With advantage. Hold on. 15.
That is exactly what you needed.
Oh! All right. So I have then Hex goes after. Yeah, blah, blah. 6 cold damage,
Mm-hmm.
and then 7 from Hex.
It's the hex that does it because it was
How did
immune
you
to
get
cold.
7 damage from Hex?
Oh, right. Sorry. 3.
Okay,
'Cause Hex
one
is
more
a
than you
D6,
needed.
That's right.
It's immune to the cold damage, but it delivers the hex. It had 2 hit points left, so the tentacle just like lashes out as a conduit for this necrotic energy from your hex, and then just like fizzles through its body. You can see it just shoot that like necrotic lightning through its body, and the whole thing just goes limp. And the Griffin, you can see the Griffin just like wings out. They just kind of like go limp and just like flap above it as it just circles and plummets into the stone sea, and just like a bunch of rocks come flying up.
How do you want to do this? Oh well.
Well, okay. If you sorry,
That's how you did it.
That's how you did
That's
it.
how I did it, I guess. Yep.
Do you have a specific way you'd like the tentacle to finish it?
No, it's cool.
Oh, okay. All right. So it plummets, it falls, and hits the stones. Why is the connection so bad today?
I'm just glad. Usually it's me having the connection issues, and I'm just glad.
I know. I don't know what's going on.
I'm so glad I don't have connection issues anymore.
Someone's eating up all my bandwidth. I don't know.
It's me.
It's Flo.
Dang.
I
Chomp, chomp,
finally
chomp.
have
Okay.
bandwidth again.
Nice. Okay. It falls. It hits the ground, and then the like blue spirit from just like the polar bear flies up out of it, just like they part in midair, and takes the blizzard with it. The blizzard lifts up, and it flies off in the exact direction you're going. And combat is over, and you're all just standing on top of this thing, just thundering along through the stone sea. And up ahead of you, you can see the outline of a towering building jutting up about 40 feet out of the stones, with like a retaining wall built in, and like the stones have been pushed back to reveal more of a structure. It is made of some kind of strange material that's like marbled through with a variety of colors. You can see just from here, you can see blue, black, green, red, and white, all just kind of like marbled together in this weird molten just swirling pattern of colors as you're approaching the ruin. And arriving at the ruin is where we'll pick up with next week.
At level 3.
Level 7.
Level 7.
Yeah, just
yeah.
jump up to level 7. Why not?
That was. Y'all are silly.
I personally wouldn't mind the extra hit points that level 7 brings.
Mm-hmm. Actually, you know what? Let's go with level 3. Let's go.
Yeah!
With you know what? Yeah. Let's
Wait,
go.
we're picking
Yeah?
up with level 3?
Y'all can level up between now and next week. Let's go with level 3.
Are you joking? Because
I finally get what I've been waiting for.
And you said we take the max now, right?
Yeah, levels 1, 2, and 3 max health. Yes.
All right.
After this one, you'll be rolling 40.
All right. My max health is 40.
Nice.
Took a level in Blood Hunter, so I can finally do some
Use
stuff.
Blood Hunter abilities.
Yeah. Well, I do have my Blood Hunter abilities, but now I can finally do what like is on his portrait.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We'll do the leveling up off stream because since there's no rolling involved anyway. So, thank you for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next week as we come in and arrive finally at these ruins, and we can see what's going on there. What's happening with Lord Canro, and who is this person the princess has been looking for, and what is Aor doing at these ruins? Find out next week on Codex Legendarium. We'll see y'all then.
Bye.
Bye.